Okay, so this dude, Kim Dokja, is the only person to finish a ridiculously long web novel, 3 Ways to Survive the Apocalypse. Like 389 episodes long. He's been reading it for 14 years, straight up dedicating his life to this story, and it finally ends. But the moment he closes the final chapter, the sky literally starts cracking open above him, and everything goes wild. Suddenly, he's not in Korea anymore, but in a bizarre, apocalyptic landscape ripped straight from the novel's opening scene. He realizes with a shock that he's inside the story, and the first scenario is beginning. Monsters are attacking. The system notifications are popping up, showing view and comment counts, all at a pathetic one for every episode. It's kinda sad, honestly. He's thinking, why does no one read this? But then he remembers he was the only one. Our boy is starting to piece things together, realizing the sheer scale of this whole situation. Over 3,000 episodes means this apocalypse is gonna be long. He's surrounded by panicked people, but he's different. He knows what's going to happen and how to survive it. And the final gut punch. He has absolutely no idea why he's been thrown into this story, but he's ready to use his knowledge to make it out alive. Okay, so a massive beast appears, and it's all teeth and claws, straight up terrifying. This thing is huge, and it's targeting everyone, but our boy remembers this fight. He knows it's coming. The monster lunges for a woman, and it looks grim, but Kim Dokja's already formulating a plan. He's yelling for her to duck, and honestly, it's a bit chaotic, but she actually listens. The beast swings, narrowly missing her, and for a second, it looks like he actually saved her. But then another monster shows up, a giant dog thing, and things are getting seriously crowded. There are now 2 massive beasts, and they're both roaring like it's the end of the world. Some dude tries to fight back with a sword, but seriously, what's he gonna do against that? The sword just bounces off, and it's clear he's in way over his head, and honestly, this dude had it coming. Then the screen goes black, and a message appears. On the day I finished the web novel. What does that even mean? The chaos is insane, wind is whipping, debris is flying, and everyone is losing it. But Kim Dokja isn't panicking. He's scrolling through his phone, reading a survival guide seriously. He's reading about how this all started, how the world is ending, and honestly, it's a little meta. He sees the people around him, the fear in their eyes, and realizes this isn't a story anymore. This dude straight up knows how this whole apocalypse plays out because he's read it 10 times. Everyone around him is murmuring in confusion, but Kim Dokja, he's got a plan, bro. He declares he knows how the story goes, and it's a total power move. No one expects that. The screen cuts to black, and it's dramatic as heck, but we're left hanging with this huge reveal. The story he's been reading for a decade. It's become real, and our boy is right in the middle of it. And then, total darkness. Seriously, cliffhanger after cliffhanger. This is brutal. Kim Dokja swings his sword, a ridiculously flimsy weapon, at the monster's figure, and it doesn't even dent him. The monster retaliates with a massive blast, and the area around them explodes into rubble and chaos. Everyone is thrown around like ragdolls, but Kim Dokja somehow stays standing. He knew this was coming. He shouts at the monster, telling it he knows everything. Every single detail of this disastrous battle. The monster pauses, confused, and that's all the opening Kim Dokja needs to launch another desperate attack. But his sword is shattered, broken into pieces. This dude is seriously outmatched, but he's still fighting. The monster raises its hand, preparing a final, devastating blow, and everyone braces for impact. Kim Dokja yells "you" and throws himself forward, a last-ditch effort to survive this impossible fight. The monster's attack connects, sending shockwaves through everything, and it looks like the end for our boy. However, everything goes white, and we're left with a blinding flash. What just happened? Kim Dokja's eyes snap open. He's not dead, but something's definitely changed. His gaze is intense. He demands to know who this monster is, straight up challenging it after nearly getting obliterated. The monster, clearly surprised, stumbles back. Kim Dokja's sheer audacity is throwing it off. Kim Dokja lunges with a broken blade, but the monster swats him away like a fly. Ouch! He's sent flying through the air, crashing into debris, but our boy isn't giving up. No way. The monster unleashes another attack, and Kim Dokja braces for impact. This is it, right? Kim Dokja intercepts the attack, somehow deflecting it. But his body is taking a beating. He's covered in cuts and bruises, but he's still standing, staring down the monster with pure defiance. The monster seems irritated, like Kim Dokja is an annoying bug it can't squish. Honestly, Kim Dokja stares back unwavering, and it's clear he's ready for round 2, even if it kills him. Kim Dokja's about to tap the open button, and he's seriously nervous. Can you blame him? He hesitates, then clicks and the screen goes black. Talk about dramatic tension. But wait, the blackness lifts, revealing a single line of text. He's the only one who knows how the world ends. And then nothing, just black. Seriously, this is messing with our heads. The darkness slowly gives way to a starry sky. It's beautiful, but also super unsettling. Letters begin to form in the darkness. Oh, men, slowly revealing the name of the novel. He's become the only person who knows how the world is going to end. This dude's life just got flipped upside down. It's all over. The story is finished, and our boy is left reeling from the implications. But something feels off, like this isn't just the end of a story. It's the beginning of something new. And honestly, the fact that he's the only one who read the whole thing, that's a little creepy. Suddenly, a group of people materializes around Kim Dokja. They're all staring at the same point in the sky. They're all seemingly waiting for something. It's like a bizarre, silent vigil, and our boy is right in the middle of it. One man steps forward, a confident look on his face, but Kim Dokja knows exactly how this scene plays out. Kim Dokja realizes this isn't just a story anymore, it's happening, and he's the only one who knows what's coming. Okay, so things are Iansen. Our boy is reading the final episode of this web novel, 3 Ways to Survive the Apocalypse. The story ends with a super ominous message: if you're reading this, you'll survive. Weird, right? But then, no way, the screen glitches, and the message starts appearing in real life, like around him. He's swiping, trying to get out of the app, but it's stuck on the final page. This is getting creepy fast. Suddenly, the whole train ratias, and everyone looks around, confused. It's a seriously unsettling sound. Our boy's looking around too, trying to figure out what's going on. But everyone just seems normal. Is he losing it? The raptily intensifies, and he clutches his phone tighter, realizing this isn't just some train problem. He glances down at his phone, and the message is still there, taunting him. This dude is straight up trapped. And then, the words from the novel start appearing as actual letters falling around him. It's like the story is materializing. The scene descends into chaos, with more letters falling, and the ratiali is deafening. This is where things really kick off. He tries to explain he's just a reader, but the guy in front of him isn't having it, asking what he is means. Our boy blurts out, "It's my name," and hands over his business card, revealing he's Dr. Kim. The other guy reads the card, "Employee Dr. Kim," and finally seems to understand, looking relieved. Dr. summarizes his whole life: a third-rate college grad working as a contractor, basically a nobody. He admits his only hobby is reading web novels on the subway, which, honestly, is relatable. But today's subway ride is different. The letters from the novel are still falling around them. It's wild. Suddenly, a huge black screen appears, detailing everything about Daksha. It's like an info dump. The screen declares, "This is who I am in a nutshell," and Daksha looks resigned, like he's seen this before. He's glued to his phone, reading, and you can see how much he loves those web novels, seriously absorbed. But this subway ride is unlike any other, and the narration warns he might get sucked right into his phone. Someone bumps into Daksha on the subway, and it's Sango Yu from HR. No way, this is awkward. She recognizes him and Daksha awkwardly says hello. He's clearly flustered by this encounter. She asks if he's heading home, and he confirms he's on a business trip, trying to play it cool. Daksha notices her shoulder brushing against his, and he visibly flinches. Total cringe moment. Sango Yu asks if he usually takes the subway, and Daksha admits he bikes to work instead. He explains he's been working overtime and wanted the exercise, which is a little sad, honestly. The finance team manager is apparently obsessed with Sango Yu, thinking tons of guys are waiting to drive her home. But Daksha reveals someone actually stole her bicycle. Talk about a plot twist? This dude, Daksha, is straight up a walking encyclopedia of this web novel, knowing everything that happens. However, Sango Yu seems genuinely curious about his knowledge, and he's starting to feel a little off. Daksha's phone buzzes and it's a message in Spanish. "Please lend me some money." What the heck? Sango Yu's studying on the subway, and the manager thinks she's a total catch. Everyone is head over heels. Daksha's totally playing it cool, acting like he knows what she's reading, but it's a book from the novel. She asks what he's reading, and our boy claims it's a post-apocalyptic novel, casually adding he's studying Korean. Sango Yu's a bookworm too. She loves Murakami, Carver, and Han Kang. She's impressed, but Daksha's sweating bullets. She asks who his favorite author is, and he dodges the question, saying she wouldn't know them anyway. Suspicious. Daksha's thinking to himself that he can never tell her what he's actually reading, and honestly, mood. He's claiming to read a story about a world after the apocalypse. But it's straight up the plot of the novel. The novel describes a sky hidden by shadows and buildings destroyed by screaming. It's dark stuff. She asks if it's a novel, and he confirms, but it's a total lie. This dude is playing 4D chess. Dokja's scrolling through the web novel's comments, and it's a lot. Like, thousands of views per episode. No way. He's been reading 3 Ways to Survive the Apocalypse since 8th grade. A total lifeline when he was getting bullied. It got him through failing his entrance exams and ending up at a third-rate college. Straight up his escape. Now he's a contract worker, getting transferred from company to company. A pretty bleak existence, honestly. But here's the kicker, he's realizing the story is ending. And it hits him hard. He feels nothing but emptiness, admitting he doesn't even have a single happy memory to cling to. Dokja's staring at the computer screen, completely lost in the final chapters of the novel, and it's kinda sad. He's replaying everything, remembering the characters, the plot. This dude knows this story inside and out. But suddenly everything goes black, and Dokja's transported somewhere else. Like, actually inside the novel, he's standing in a destroyed city, the sky hidden by shadows, and it's exactly as the novel described. This is insane. Dokja's scrolling through the comments, and it's brutal. The view count plummets to like 12 people. He realizes the series went on for over 3,000 episodes with almost no readership. It's kinda sad. But then it hits him, this whole story. It felt like it was written just for him. He remembers wanting to donate to the author, but he barely had enough money for ramen, honestly. Dokja sees a single comment from Kim Dokja, thanking the author, and it's him. He actually left that comment. He admits it was hard even finishing the series, and all he could do was offer a simple thank you. A woman approaches him, and it's Yoo Jung-gyeok, a major character from the novel. No way! She's laughing and smiling, and Dokja's mind is racing, trying to figure out what's happening. They both admit they had no idea what they were getting into, and it's a little unnerving. But the relief is short-lived. The world around them starts to glitch and distort, and something's clearly wrong. Yoo Jung-gyeok apologizes for the late congratulations, but Dokja awkwardly admits he should have learned a foreign language. She brushes it off, saying she hasn't finished her performance assessment yet, which is odd, considering she's a key character. But then the train car starts glitching, the scenery warping around them, and it's straight up terrifying. Something's really wrong. A system notification pops up announcing a scenario is beginning, and everyone is being forced to participate. No way. Okay, so things are getting wildy. Someone shouts "Dakebi?" Apparently it's like a Korean goblin, as this creature just leaps out of nowhere. The subway suddenly flashes, and everyone's totally freaked out. Our boy looks seriously concerned about what's happening. There's a weird, sparkling dust falling everywhere, and people are starting to panic. It's super unsettling, honestly. This dude is sweating bullets, staring at something off-panel, clearly realizing this isn't a normal subway ride. The subway screeches to a halt, and the entire car plunges into darkness. Classic horror movie move, right? Everything's just dark lines and shadows now, emphasizing how totally cut off they are from the outside world. Someone tries to brush it off, saying subways stop all the time, but it's obvious they're starting to feel uneasy. Our boy recognizes the situation immediately. The opening lines of the web novel he read are playing out in front of him. But it doesn't make sense. He knows this story, and things aren't unfolding as they should be, which is seriously messing with him. He's convinced something's wrong, insisting this can't be happening, and honestly, we're right there with him. Someone apologizes, but our boy is totally zoned out. He's getting a notification on his phone. The message describes a downy creature, with horns floating in the air, and it's unsettlingly innocent looking. He insists this is impossible, realistically speaking, but then, his eyes widen as he sees something, and it's clear whatever he's looking at is not normal. The subway car fills with a blinding, pink light. It's like an energy explosion is happening right there. Everyone is murmuring and pointing, asking what is that, as a shadowy figure materializes in the light. Our boy shouts, "Look, angel," but honestly, this angel looks super creepy and out of place. The message on his phone keeps flashing keywords: peculiar, innocent, malicious. It's all connecting now. He and the woman beside him stare, completely shocked, as this whole situation unfolds before them. This dude is processing everything way too quickly, and it's clear this isn't just some random event. It's personal. He remembers the novel calling this creature a dakebi, a kind of spirit, and it's floating there. Everyone murmurs in fear as the dakebi descends, and our boy straight up realizes something is off. He's scanning the crowd, and it hits him these people aren't supposed to be here. They weren't in the novel. The Dakabi's presence is intensifying, and a strange energy envelops the subway car. It's getting chaotic. He focuses on a woman, her face pale with fear, and understands this isn't just a retelling, it's different. Our boy stares intensely, piecing everything together. The altered details, the added characters, the deviation from the story. He's realizing this isn't just about surviving the plot, but understanding why the story changed. He knows the original story, every death, every twist, but this new version, it's a complete mystery. The Dakabi's eyes lock with his, and for a split second, this dude feels a connection. A terrifying recognition. But that connection is broken as the Dakabi unleashes its power, and now the real game begins. Everyone's freaking out, but our boy is trying to figure out what's going on, sniffing the air like he can sense something. People are questioning what's happening, and this woman looks straight up terrified. She's clutching someone's arm. Someone's taking pictures of the Dakabi, but another guy blurts out how ugly it is. Rude. He realizes nobody else knows what this creature is, except him. The weight of the story falls on our boy. The Dakabi is getting closer, and this dude is stunned. Impossible, how could it be here? The Dakabi is right in front of him, and he's completely shocked, squeezing his hands tight. Someone suggests talking to it in Spanish. Seriously, what is happening right now? Another guy calls them out. They don't even know what it is, and they're thinking of asking for money. The woman tries to explain, but she's cut off as the Dakabi starts speaking. The language patch malfunctions, but it's testing if anyone can hear. This is getting wilder by the second. He's desperately trying to explain they're filming, and needs to get to his audition. Total chaos. The Dakabi doesn't care about auditions, though, and just laughs. This is not good, bro. Our boy realizes he totally messed up. He should have researched this place before setting up shop. He explains they planned a paywall for 7 p.m., hoping for more customers, but it's clearly backfiring hard. He tries to calm everyone down, claiming he has an important announcement, but they're not listening. A little girl asks what that cartoon is. She has no idea what's about to happen, bless her. Suddenly, everyone is screaming and falling over. The Dakabi's power is hitting hard and fast. No way! The Dakabi is literally crushing everything around them, and people are panicking. It's straight up destroying the entire space. This is way beyond a simple misunderstanding. But our boy, he's remembering the novel. This is exactly how it went down, and he knows it. He tries to apologize, to stop the Dakabi, but it's already too late. This dude is way too far gone. The Dakabi's eyes are glowing, and it's hovering over someone. It's about to get real messy. It screams for silence, and the air just changes. Seriously, the tension is insane right now. No way! The Dakabi unleashes some kind of energy blast, and it's splattering everywhere. Everyone is completely shocked. They have no clue what just hit them, but it looks bad. The scene is a blur of red and chaos, and our boy realizes the novel's description was an understatement. Someone falls, and it's straight up a bloodbath. This is a level of violence they weren't prepared for. The Dakabi's eye is massive, terrifying, and glowing, and it's staring right at us. Another spray of blood, and a sickening splat sound. This is absolutely brutal, bro. The scene fades to black, but we hear someone whimpering. This is just the beginning. I can feel it. Everyone's panicking, covered in blood. It's total mayhem, and our boy is realizing this isn't some movie set. He shouts that it's not a movie, but the Dakabi just unleashes another wave of destruction. A sickening splat echoes. Someone cries out that this isn't a dream, but honestly, it feels way too real for everyone involved. Another splat rings out, and we get a close-up of someone getting absolutely drenched. It's brutal, bro. The Dakabi's eye is Shuji glowing red, and it's locking onto someone. The tension is building to a breaking point. A couple huddles together, terrified as shadows creep closer. They're desperately trying to escape. Our boy is staring at everything, and he hates to admit it, but this horrifying reality is sinking in. His doubt and disbelief slowly fade, replaced by a grim acceptance. The fight for survival is officially on. Dark tendrils reach out, spreading across the scene. It's like the darkness itself is closing in on them. But even as things look bleak, he knows the novel, and he's determined to use that knowledge to survive this. This dude is pleading with the monster, offering everything he has. It's a desperate move, bro. The monster, this fluffy ball of doom, is straight up laughing. It's not taking the deal at all. It's demanding a price, saying nothing is free, super ominous and creepy, honestly. The monster starts glowing, getting bigger and more terrifying. No way, this is good. It's squeezing the life out of someone, and everyone is frozen in fear. This is brutal. Our boy realizes he needs to act, knowing exactly what's about to happen. He's got to use that knowledge. He remembers the monster's weakness from the novel. Time to put that information to work. A man tries to intervene, but the monster just glares at him. And honestly, this dude had it coming. The monster's face is terrifyingly close, and it delivers a chilling line. It's pure evil. But our boy is already formulating a plan, determined to survive this insane situation. He's not going down without a fight. He offers money, $1 million or even $2 million, thinking he can buy his way out of this mess. But the monster isn't interested in cash. It's looking for something else entirely, and it's making that super clear. Our boy offers everything he has, promising to give it all up if they just let him go. Desperate times, man. However, the monster scoffs, declaring money is just an agreement between people. It wants something more abstract. This monster is straight up philosophical, and honestly, it's terrifyingly calm while holding someone's life in its hands. He's rummaging through stuff, looking for whatever this monster wants. The tension is unreal. Okay, so things are insane. Our boy and Sangha are trapped in this weird dark place, and everyone around them is murmuring. They're surrounded by shadowy figures, and it's straight up creepy, like they're in some kind of nightmare version of a subway station. Sangha tries to call the police, thinking it's a normal emergency, but the line just doesn't connect. She's panicking, but this dude, the protagonist, is trying to keep her calm, telling her to breathe. However, he hears something, and his face drops. Something's definitely wrong, and he knows it. Sangha asks what's happening, but he realizes they're not dealing with anything normal, and this is a total game. He explains they're part of the game now, and the shadowy figures are closing in, making the situation even more intense. And honestly, it looks like they're completely cut off, with no escape in sight. Everything goes black, and for a second, we think it's over. But then, a single figure emerges from the darkness, and things are about to get real. He's figuring out the rules of this messed up world, trying to understand what's going on. But then, a strange voice announces the presence of a Dakaibi with antenna, and things get weirder. No way. People around them are covered in blood, and an old lady is desperately praying for a miracle. Our boy can't believe this is actually happening. He's in total disbelief, and Sangha is freaking out. She's clinging to him, but he can't deny the reality anymore. They're trapped in this terrifying scenario. Someone shouts to try and break whatever's happening with a hammer, like that's gonna solve anything. But the scene cuts to black again, and honestly, it's a total cliffhanger moment. We're back with Sangha and our boy, and it's clear he's trying to process the absolute chaos around them. He's realizing they're in a full-blown catastrophe, and Sangha's starting to understand the danger too. However, he's determined to figure out the rules of this crazy game, even if it means facing the impossible. He's scrolling through a novel on his phone, 3 Ways to Survive the Apocalypse, and suddenly, it feels real. This dude is overwhelmed, trying to wrap his head around the fact that the story is unfolding before his eyes. He's desperately thinking, trying to recall everything from the novel, but it's a lot to process. Seriously. The system throws its first scenario at them: prove your value. Kill a living organism, no pressure. The penalty for failure, straight up teach. Talk about high stakes, bro. This is intense. Okay, everyone's panicking, and someone's trying to stay calm, pointing at a complicated subway map. Our boy realizes they're in the middle of a catastrophe, and Sangha is starting to get it too, finally. He's determined to understand the rules of this messed up game, even if it means facing the impossible, which it totally will. But he remembers the novel. The first scenario is always the same, and it's brutal. However, he's already formulating a plan, and honestly, we're here for a strategic mastermind. Our boy tries to get everyone's attention, explaining a national emergency is happening, but people are straight up confused. He flashes a Ministry of Defense ID Hyeonsong Lee Unit 65 and 2, and everyone starts murmuring, realizing this isn't a drill. This dude claims he just received a message from his unit, which throws everyone into even more chaos. Someone questions who he even is, demanding to know his deal, and it's a legit question, honestly. He explains he's currently serving in Unit 6502, trying to establish authority in this insane situation. However, the others are clearly skeptical, and we can feel the tension building with every passing second. He's trying to take charge, but everyone is whispering and questioning his motives. It's a total mess. But this dude is sticking to his story, desperately trying to convey the gravity of what's happening, no matter how crazy it sounds. He's holding his phone, and it looks like he's about to share whatever message he got from his unit. And honestly, this is where things are about to get real, because we all know a message from the military means trouble. He demands they contact the Blue House, the president, Raijich but things get tricky fast. A soldier explains he doesn't have the clearance to directly reach the president, which is a total roadblock. But our boy insists something else took him by surprise, and he needs to get a message to Lieutenant Hyun-song Lee. He's never met this Lee, but he knows the name, and that's seriously unsettling for everyone. Everyone's freaking out, realizing this Hyun-song Lee was a character introduced in the original novel. This dude is laying it all out. Hyun-song Lee, aka Steel Blade, is a Republic of Korea Army lieutenant. And apparently, he talks and acts just like he did in the web novel, which is a huge red flag. So, it turns out our boy is using his knowledge of the story to try and manipulate events? No way! He's basically betting that knowing the plot will help him navigate this disaster. It's a risky move. But honestly, this is where things get really interesting, because we're about to see if his plan will work. Okay, so apparently Steel Blade showed up AFTR the first scenario in the novel. That's already weird. Suddenly, everyone's phones are blowing up with news of the Prime Minister giving an emergency speech. It's a level 1 national emergency, straight up, and Dokja is frantically showing someone on his phone. The Prime Minister announces the government will fight back with everything they've got. But it sounds familiar. This is where it gets insane. Everyone thinks it's a terrorist attack, just like in the story. But the news reports say the terrorists already wiped out the Prime Minister, which is not good. People are saying it's just a rumor from the video comments, but Dokja knows better. No way. And soon the screen goes white, building suspense like crazy. Something big is about to happen. The broadcast cuts to static, then reveals a picture of the Prime Minister and a message. It's happening. The message reads, "The Prime Minister, unidentified terrorist attacks." This dude knew it all along. Okay, so the guy in the suit, the one who's been all smug, decides to push things further, like he's testing Dokja. He's all, "Do you think this is a game?" And then says people from this country are good at games. Total condescension. Then, without warning, this dude starts squeezing something in his hand. It's a black box and things are about to escalate. He says to raise the difficulty, and honestly, it's creepy, like he's enjoying this whole nightmare. Suddenly, the screen flashes with the time 24/22, and everyone is freaked out because it's not a normal time. The time keeps changing, now it's 24:21, and the room fills with this weird blue energy. Something's definitely wrong. The screen shows a countdown, and Dokja realizes this is exactly how it happened in the novel, which is terrifying. He's desperately trying to explain to everyone what's going on, but they're just staring at the time, confused. But the guy in the suit, he's just smirking, enjoying the chaos, straight up villain vibes. The situation is spiraling, the timer's ticking, and everyone's about to find out this isn't some game at all. The screen flashes and a new scenario pops up. It's called Prove Your Value, and the task is to kill something? No way. The conditions are brutal: a measly 30 minutes, 300 coins as a reward, and DH if he fails. But wait, it gets worse. The time limit suddenly drops to 10 minutes, and the blue energy intensifies. Dokja's freaking out, trying to explain this is a trap, but the suit guy is just enjoying the show. Honestly, the screen displays WOSH and a burst of energy, and the scenario officially begins. This is intense. Our boy is stuck in a life or death situation, and this dude in the suit is casually running the show. Okay, so everyone's sneaking around this weird, sterile place. It's giving major sci-fi vibes, honestly. Things immediately go sideways as people start tripping and falling, like someone just hit the gravity switch. A massive blue barrier slams down, cutting off escape routes and trapping everyone inside with something. Straight up chaos erupts. People are screaming, and one guy is losing it, yelling about what the heck is happening. Someone gets splashed with blood, and it's clear this isn't a drill. This is some serious life or death stuff. We get a title card, Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, then I add in her, and it's episode 4, chapter 1. A woman flinches, reacting to whatever is going on. The tension is building, and it's intense. Another character is visibly trembling, clinging to a colleague, and you can feel the fear radiating off them. Our boy is clearly rattled, but he's trying to stay calm. He knows this world, he's read the book, remember? But things are escalating fast, and even with all his knowledge, this dude is starting to realize just how dangerous this is. Okay, so our boy is frantically searching for the novel online. He's expecting the author to have dropped something. But no luck. The search comes up empty, and he's annoyed. thinking it's been taken down for illegal sharing. He narrows his eyes, a little spark of realization dawning on him. This is getting weird. He starts swiping through his phone, searching again, and the tension is building with every gesture. His eyes widen, something's definitely off, and he's starting to connect the dots. Suddenly, it hits him, did the author send him the novel as a gift? But is this still illegal sharing? He's spiraling, questioning if it even matters since the author wrote it himself. What a twist. This dude is straight up losing it, questioning everything, and it's hilarious and terrifying all at once. However, he's quickly snapping out of it, a determined look on his face. He needs to figure this out. And honestly, the intensity in his eyes is kinda scary. He's ready to use his knowledge to survive. He tries to open the attributes window again, expecting to see his stats, but it's a no-go. It won't even load. This dude is getting seriously frustrated. What's the point of knowing the system if he can't use it? He attempts to open the window repeatedly, getting increasingly agitated, but it just flashes cannot be opened back at him. Okay, so he's panicking a little, repeatedly clicking, but the window remains stubbornly closed. It's a total dead end. He mutters to himself, trying to figure out what's happening, but honestly, he's starting to freak out a little. But wait, he gets a new file attachment, thinking maybe it's a workaround or explanation, and a ding sound goes off. He opens the file, hoping for answers, but it's just a message, and it's all backwards. What is going on? No way. He realizes the message is a warning. You have been a threat, and his eye is glowing blue, like something's activating. Straight up, he slams his phone down, a look of pure terror on his face. This isn't just a game anymore. However, he's not giving up, and his eyes are locked on something off screen. Our boy is ready to fight, even if he doesn't know what he's up against. He scans the subway car, focusing on cabin number 3707. It's the one from the story, but something feels off. He remembers the massacre in 3707, the brutal scene playing in his mind, and realizes the protagonist wasn't even in that cabin. No way, the real carnage happened in the cabins behind 3707, and that's where the story began. He sees the cabin behind 3707 covered in blood, a horrifying realization dawning on him. He's messed up the timeline. A woman beside him asks what happened to the people in 3807, and he's frozen, knowing exactly what's about to unfold. She asks if they should try and stop whatever's coming, but our boy is completely still, a single tear rolling down his cheek. He knows trying to interfere will only make things worse, and honestly, he's already accepted the inevitable. He's bracing himself, steeling his nerves. This dude is about to witness a tragedy again, but this time he's inside it. But wait, the woman is still trying to convince him to help. She has no idea what's coming, poor thing. He just stares ahead, resigned, as the scene is about to repeat itself, and it's seriously messed up. He explodes, screaming at the woman to shut up. Bro is losing it, completely unhinged. He grabs her arm, desperate to stop her, but she's terrified and tries to pull away. He demands she be quiet, but she's pleading with him to let her go. This is bad, really bad. Suddenly, a dark force slams into him, sending him flying, and the scene turns absolutely chaotic. Blood splatters everywhere, painting the subway car red. It's a brutal, horrifying attack. He's on the ground, barely conscious, eyes wide with shock and pain. This dude is broken. He tries to tell her to shut up again, even while clearly wrecked. The desperation is unreal. Another brutal smack echoes through the car, and a woman screams, "No way, it's happening again!" Someone off-panel declares Sangha will probably die, and honestly, it feels inevitable at this point. The scene cuts to a white void, like the story is resetting. This is messed up, and he's trapped in it. He's pleading with the old man, telling him the army won't save them. It's a desperate, chilling realization. The woman is losing it, screaming for someone to help, but it's all happening again, exactly as it did before. He shouts that someone has to die, and the woman begs for her life. It's brutal and heartbreaking. The attack lands, and the woman is struck down. No way, it's happening again, right on schedule. He's clutching her, desperate, as everything starts glitching. It's like the world is breaking apart. The scene resets, flashes of blue light everywhere. This is messed up, and he's reliving the same nightmare. He's pinned, struggling against the attacker, trying to stop the inevitable, but it feels hopeless. The attacker is relentless, slamming him around. Our boy is getting wrecked, straight up. He's screaming, demanding to know what's going on, but the attacker just keeps coming. She's pleading for her life, and he's shouting that someone must die. This dude is losing his mind. He declares they have new rules to follow. What does that even mean, bro? The attacker just straight up starts going to town on him, and it's brutal. He's getting absolutely wrecked, slammed around like a rag doll. It's a whirlwind of violence. She's screaming at everyone, demanding to know why they're just standing there. Like action is an option. The old man says he knew what they were thinking, that they believe they're better than this. He argues they can't just kill to survive, acting all high and mighty. But seriously, what choice do they have? This dude is losing it, demanding to know if they're just going to watch everyone die. It cuts back to the attacker and he's grinning, a creepy, terrifying grin, honestly. But then, the scene glitches again. Everything is breaking apart, and we're back to square one. Okay, so things are expodng on the subway. Straight up chaos erupts as someone unleashes a power. This dude, Jongwoo, is trying to protect a girl, but the attack is coming from EVRWHR, no way to dodge it. He pushes her out of the way, and then he's sprinting, trying to get clear of the carnage. But it's too late. He's getting slammed around, smoke everywhere, and he's totally disoriented. He's falling, asking where the attack is even coming from, which is a legit question considering the mess. People are FLing through the air, bodies colliding. It's a full-on disaster in this subway car. Jongwoo grits his teeth, trying to push through it, sprinting to get away from the onslaught. Another guy looks shocked, like he didn't sign up for this level of crazy. Honestly, the force of the attack is insane. Jongwoo and another guy are slammed together, total impact. It's a brutal clash, and our boy is clearly taking a beating, but he's still fighting back somehow. Jongwoo is desperately searching for something, panting and clearly panicked. It must be important. He spots it, a small box, and grabs it, but instantly gets SMKD by someone lurking in the shadows. This dude is getting pummeled, but he manages to grab his attacker, a fierce clash erupting. The attacker casually says excuse me while continuing the beatdown. Talk about rude. Someone yells at the attacker to keep going, kill her, and honestly, the situation is escalating fast. Jongwoo is still trying to figure out what's going on, struggling to understand why this is happening. He finally finds what they're after, a small, glowing object, but it's a trap, and he's ambushed again. Another hit lands, and Jongwoo is reeling. But he's not going down without a fight, refusing to give up. The attacker is relentless, a flurry of blows raining down on Jongwoo. It's brutal, no way to defend. Jongwoo is completely overwhelmed, but he's determined to protect the box, even if it kills him. Jongwoo's desperately trying to reason with the attacker, begging him to stop, but it's no use. The attacker just keeps swinging and Jongwoo is getting absolutely wrecked. It's a total beatdown. Another guy shouts they need to kill the old lady, and everyone is visibly shaken. This is getting dark. Jongwoo realizes the Dakebi's words are true, they all have to kill someone, and the pressure is intense. Someone flinches at the thought of murder, and honestly, who wouldn't? This is a messed up situation. Another person flinches too, and it's clear everyone is horrified by the task at hand. It's a total nightmare. Jongwoo is reeling, but he's still trying to understand what's happening. This dude never gives up. He asks what's next, and another guy just stares back, looking terrified. The tension is unreal. The other guy flinches, clearly disturbed by whatever's about to happen, and we get another quick glimpse of the box. Jongwoo's face is grim as he stares into the chaos. Our boy is bracing for the worst, and honestly, so are we. Jongwoo demands to know why they're gambling with their lives when survival is possible without murder. Bro's got a point. The others are stunned by his question, but one guy straight up says they have to kill a human being to proceed. Jongwoo looks like he's about to lose it, and honestly, can you blame him? This is a messed up scenario. He asks what the next step is, and another guy just stares back, clearly terrified. The tension is building. Jongwoo realizes they forgot to mention a crucial detail, and he's not thrilled. Our boy is piecing things together. He's furious they left out the fact they've have to kill someone, but he's trying to stay calm, even though it's intense. The scene shifts, and a guy is holding a container. It's filled with insects. What is happening right now? Everyone stares in horror at the container of bugs, and it's seriously unsettling. No way this is a good sign. The guy holding the container raises his hand, and something's falling from above. Is it rain? No, it's red flakes. The flakes are scattering everywhere, and it looks like they're landing on the insects. This is getting creepy fast. The madness that drove these guys to kill the old lady, it's now aimed right at Jongwoo. He's trying to block it with his arms, but whatever's coming is way too strong. It's a full-on assault. This dude is getting blasted backwards, and the force is sending a box flying through the air. The scene cuts to a horrifying vision, hands reaching out, covered in glowing eyes. It's seriously messed up. Jongwoo's trying to shield himself, but the pressure is intense, and he's clearly taking a beating. One of the attackers goes for a crushing blow. A hand connects with a sickening crunch. Yellow goo splatters everywhere, and it's safe to say that wasn't just a slap, that's gotta hurt. Someone yells, and another guy tries to intervene, but the attacker just keeps swinging with insane force. The box from earlier is tumbling through the air, and for some reason, there's a giant cricket nearby. Jungwoo is dodging attacks while trying to figure out what's going on, but this whole situation is just chaos. Jungwoo manages to grab the box, but the cricket is still coming for him. No way! Someone else is getting slammed into the train car wall, and it's not looking good for them. Suddenly, a message pops up: a first kill mission accomplished. What is going on? He's getting 100 coins as a bonus? Seriously, for killing someone with a giant cricket. Another attacker shouts for them to find something, while threatening our boy. This is escalating fast. Jungwoo claims he's got it, but he's clearly exhausted and barely holding on. He's panting, looking around, and says there are more of them. Great, just great. A timer appears, only 3 minutes left. This dude is under insane pressure. He's sizing up his enemy, looking determined, but honestly, this fight is stacked against him. The attacker lunges and Jungwoo just stares him down. It's a tense standoff, for sure. This guy, Namwoon Kim, is laughing and straight up asks if Jungwoo threw people off the train to survive. What is psycho? Jungwoo confirms it with a simple ice, and the floor is covered in blood, which is not a good look. Namwoon Kim calls it ridiculous, but then starts rambling about Jungwoo's true nature. Creepy vibes intensify. He's saying Namwoon Kim is cruel and enjoys this kind of situation, and then a personal skill notification pops up. A character profile appears on Namwoon Kim, and it's not pretty? This dude is seriously messed up. Jungwoo is analyzing Namwoon Kim, trying to figure out what makes him tick, but it's clear this guy is dangerous. And honestly, Jungwoo is realizing Namwoon Kim is a whole other level of bad news. This is gonna be rough. Okay, so the train is literally on fire, and our boy is right in the middle of it, trying to find something. He's searching for this seed thing, apparently crucial to the whole story, but it's chaos everywhere. He spots a number, 3D707, and it's connected to whatever he's looking for, but it's getting harder to see through the flames. The wreckage is insane, debris is flying, and it's clear this isn't just a simple accident. More fire, more destruction. This train is practically melting around him, but he's still focused on the seed. Someone yells about where the seed went, and another guy is determined to catch it, diving into the inferno. But this dude just straight up declares he works alone, leaving others to fend for themselves cold. We get a quick look at the two guys, Kim Namoon and Jo Pyung, and Namoon looks seriously ticked off. Namoon is pushing through the wreckage, clearly determined to get his hands on that seed, no matter the cost. He's absolutely relentless, ignoring everyone else and focused solely on his goal, which is kinda scary, honestly. He says his life is guaranteed for now, but bro just stepped over a body. Things are escalating fast. He admits if he hadn't read that trash web novel, he'd have made a different choice. What does that mean? Seeing this guy in person clearly changes things, and our boy is suddenly way more intense. He demands everyone get out of his way, because he has unfinished business with this granny character. This dude's eyes are glowing red, and he's flashing a terrifying smile, seriously unhinged. He's grabbing this other guy's collar, and it's clear he's lost it, straight up menacing. The guy asks if he's trying to play hero or has split personality, but our boy is not amused. He snaps back that no, it alls are all the same, then realizes how much he hated this character in the novel. He thinks this guy will stay a teenager forever, but honestly, that's a weird thing to say mid-fight. The other guy is shocked, and we get a close-up of our boy's terrifying grin. This is gonna be good. Okay, so Namoon just gets a bunch of notifications. This dude despises him, and their affinity is dropping. Wild. He shouts at this guy, demanding he move, but it's clear he's already decided to throw hands. And bam, he unleashes this crazy purple energy, a straight-up whirlwind of power. The attack connects, sending the other guy flying, and honestly, this dude had it coming. He's spitting blood, but he's still conscious and actually smirks at Namoon. What is UP with this guy? He predicts Namoon's next move, saying he knew this would happen, and it's super creepy. Namoon swings again, but the other guy deflects it, and then, he's got a knife to Namoon's throat. He asks how about this, and it's clear he's enjoying the power imbalance way too much. The other guy is stunned, realizing this attack is part of Namoon's edgelord's skill. No way! Namoon wobbles, but he's still standing, and that smirk hasn't left his face. This is getting intense. He's suddenly overflowing with power, yelling about how strong he is. This dude is straight up losing it. The other guy realizes Namoon recruited him because he's a psychopath. Makes sense, honestly. Namoon is taking a beating, but he's barely flinching. It's like he wants this fight. Suddenly, Namoon unlocks a skill, Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. Level 1? No way! He unlocks level 2 immediately after and is confused. What is even happening right now? The subway car shakes, and the lights flicker wildly. But Namoon is focused on this new power. He's seeing everything, understanding the situation, and it's giving him a serious edge. The other guy attacks again, but Namoon anticipates it. This skill is a game changer. Namoon blocks the attack, and for a moment, they're locked in a stalemate, both radiating power. But Namoon breaks the hold, sending the other guy crashing through the subway car. This is escalating fast. Okay, so Namoon's getting wrecked. This guy is swinging at him with insane force. But thanks to that Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, Namoon anticipates every single attack, dodging like a pro. He's barely avoiding this onslaught though, and starts screaming as the blows land close. This dude is seriously unleashing a beatdown, and Namoon is straight up getting tossed around. Namoon's getting slammed into the subway walls, but he's still grinning. This is unsettling. The other guy thinks he's got Namoon cornered, believing he can't hit him, but oh boy is he wrong. Namoon uses his new skill to predict exactly where the attack is coming from, and redirects it. The force of the redirection sends the other guy flying, smashing through the subway car. What a move. Namoon's shoulder takes a hit, but he barely reacts. This skill is seriously broken. And just like that, Namoon counters, slamming the other guy into the ground. Total domination? Namoon's second skill, Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, activates. He sees everything coming. He anticipates the attack and dodges, but the other guy is still relentless, swinging wildly. Our boy is getting pummeled, but he's grinning. It's kinda creepy, not gonna lie. The other guy thinks he's won, but Namoon is already countering, landing a solid hit. Namoon sends him flying, but takes some damage to the shoulder. Worth it though. He keeps the assault going, absolutely demolishing the other guy with a flurry of attacks. This dude is screaming, and Namoon just keeps coming, showing no mercy whatsoever. Namoon's focused on the old lady, realizing if she dies, the scenario resets. No way. He's striding forward, determined to protect her, even with the other guy still reeling. But someone's already rushing the old lady, and Namoon's face drops. Oh, this is bad. Okay, so this guy pulls a knife on Namoon, straight up ambushes him. Namoon's eyes glow red, and he anticipates the attack, grabbing the knife mid-swing. He's got a skill activate, knife fighting level 1, and it's happening fast. Namoon deflects the attack, and a purple energy blade bursts forward. It's intense. The blade slices right through the attacker's arm, and honestly, this dude had it coming. But the attacker isn't down yet. He's still coming for the old lady, and Namoon's losing it. Namoon leaps, intercepting the attack, but the guy's skin starts burning. He realizes Namoon is some kind of military geek, and it throws him off guard. The purple blade connects with the attacker's chest. It's a brutal, clean slice. Namoon finishes the job, and the attacker dissolves into black particles. No witnesses. Okay, so things are going sideways fast. A weird, glowing mass bursts out of the train door, rattling everything. This dude, Kim Namwoon, is straight up getting wrecked as the train shakes violently and people start flying. No way, the train car is a bloodbath, and people are down for the count, completely covered in stuff. We get a close-up, and it's gruesome. Someone's shoes are stepping right through the spilled blood. It's intense. Our boy Hyun Song Lee is standing amidst the chaos, looking surprisingly calm, but covered in blood too. Hyun Song is identified as Lee Hyun Song, and Sang-yu gets her name tag too, amidst all the carnage. Mayango hands up next with the name tag. This dude is glaring like he's about to solve the whole case himself. Another name tag appears. This one belongs to Namwoon Kim, and his uniform is soaked, and honestly, this dude had it coming. Hyun Song looks surprisingly collected, despite the massacre around him, like he's assessing the situation. Sang-yu looks totally shaken, but she's trying to hold it together, which is understandable, honestly. Someone screams for help, but Namwoon Kim just stares ahead, looking totally spaced out. Hyun Song, however, is now having it. He's yelling at whoever's begging for help, demanding to know why he should care. Hyun Song lays down the law, saying the old world is gone and this new one needs new rules, straight up cold. The guy pleading for his life keeps begging, but Hyun Song just grabs his head, and things get messy fast. No way, Hyun Song straight up splatters the guy against the train wall, blood everywhere. It's brutal. The impact echoes, tet, and Namwoon Kim finally blinks, looking around at the carnage. Namwoon is covered in blood, looking shocked and, is that a slight smirk? This dude is messed up. More blood sprays and Namwoon's expression is unreadable, like he's seen this all before. Hyun-seon casually wipes his hands, completely unfazed by the mess, and honestly, it's terrifying. Namwoon just stares straight ahead, looking vacant, as the blood drips around him. What is going on with this guy? Hyun-seon is shockingly calm, admitting he feels guilty, but something feels off about it. Another splat echoes as he casually assesses the aftermath of the slaughter. This dude is ice cold. He's covered in blood, but Hyun-seon wonders how he can stay so calm amidst all this chaos. Hyun-seon wipes blood from his ear, claiming he's clean, but then realizes it's smeared on the glass. A notification dings. He's slaughtered 124 living organisms, mostly grasshopper eggs, seriously. But here's the twist: killing non-resistant organisms halves the coins he earns. Talk about a penalty. Still, he gets 200 coins, but those he used to level up his stats are about to be deducted. Another ding means a channel usage fee is being taken, because of course it is. Hyun-seon's back is to us, but he's standing over more bodies, and the scene is straight up gruesome. A final ding tells us additional rewards are being calculated. This system is wild, honestly. Okay, so Hyun-seon is holding Namwoon, and it looks like they're both falling. Total chaos. Everything rattles and shakes, and a voice says the world has collapsed, a new one is being born. Whoa. Someone exclaims something is moving, and they can finally go home, but it feels ominous, right? Hyun-seon says, and I am, but it cuts to black. Seriously, the cliffhangers in this story are brutal. No way. A massive, shadowy dragon thing bursts into view, destroying everything in its path. Hyun-seon looks absolutely shocked, yelling my god at the sight of the monster. Fair enough, honestly. We get a close-up of blood splattered on his leg, then more blackness. This is messing with my head. A crack appears in the wall, and a shadowy figure emerges. Now this is fascinating and terrifying. The figure declares, now this is fascinating, and bro is clearly enjoying the apocalypse. What a creep. But wait, the crack widens, and we see more shadowy figures. Things are escalating quickly. Hyun-seon yells stand, but it's way too late. The bridge is collapsing around them. Everyone stares at Hyun-seon, covered in blood, and he declares how this world will end. Dark stuff. The title, Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, slams onto the screen, and it's clear things are about to get intense. A bridge buckles and breaks apart, sending cars plummeting. Total disaster unfolding before our eyes. More sections of the bridge give way, and honestly, it's a full-on demolition derby down there. But wait, that's not the biggest problem. A colossal dragon appears, and it's absolutely terrifying. Hyun-seon is speechless, staring up at the dragon, and you can feel the sheer scale of this threat. The dragon's eyes glow red, and it's like, yeah, I'm the biggest problem now. No chill at all. We get a glimpse through the broken bridge supports, and it's just a chaotic mess of wreckage and smoke. Hyun-seon finally speaks, and it's chilling. He's accepted his role as the protagonist, and things are about to change. Okay, so that snake-like monster is an ichthyosaur, basically a sea serpent, and it's Heiji. Apparently, this beast will be a grade 7 monster in TWSA, whatever that is, and everyone's freaking out. The world of TWSA prioritizes these scenarios over everything else. It's like a twisted game to them. Hyun-seon says they're safe for now, but honestly, that feels like a lie with that thing looming. Suddenly, stars appear in the sky, and this dude starts counting them. 1, 2, 3, 21! 21 stars mean 21 constellations are watching the live stream. No way, that's a lot for a newbie. These constellations are the most mysterious beings in TWSA, the masterminds behind this whole tragedy. They're basically the audience for DokKB's channels, which means they're enjoying the chaos. Creepy. This channel had 21 viewers, which is a ton for a new DokKB, and he's straight up thrilled about it. But here's the kicker in the original story. Namwoon Kim killed almost everyone in this cabin. Oh. Okay, so someone just got stabbed. It's brutal, and doctors realizing this is officially the start of the story. He spots blood splattered on the floor, and it's clear someone was seriously injured. Things are escalating fast. Flashback time. We see the people on the bus yesterday, all relaxed, but now they're watching Dokja. Creepy. The constellations are impressed with this chaotic scenario and straight up gift Dokja 500 coins. What a weird reward. Someone whispers that they'll all pay the admission fee with their lives. Super ominous, honestly. They ask Dokja if he's okay, but he's clearly shaken up after witnessing the attack. This is getting intense. Dokja apologizes, saying he couldn't save the old lady. He feels responsible, and it's heartbreaking. He tries to help the injured woman, but she's covered in blood and clearly in bad shape. It's a mess. The woman thanks him, saying it's nothing, but Dokja looks totally confused. Something's off here. She's trying to play it cool, but Dokja knows something's wrong, and this whole situation is just weird. Okay, so the injured woman just straight up reveals she's been acting the whole time. Total fake. She's a hunter, and Dokja totally predicted this, bro. Okay, so our boy Dokja is totally exhausted and straight up falls asleep mid-battle, like full, unpassed out. He wakes up to a huge system notification and everyone around him is getting these glowing blue boxes. It's intense. These boxes are sponsorships from powerful beings called constellations, and everyone's getting one. Except for Dokja, who's looking a little left out. But wait, no way. Dokja suddenly gets FOUR sponsorship options popping up on his screen. What is happening? Everyone's shocked that Sangha is getting 2 sponsorships too, and she's honestly a little smug about it, which is funny. The system explains that constellations provide support, and this sponsor selection is a big deal in this world, TWSA. Dokja is thinking hard about which constellation to choose, and Sangha asks what's going on. He tells her about the 2 extra options that appeared, but neither of them knows why he's getting special treatment. She thinks it's just luck, but honestly, knowing Dokja, this is probably way more complicated than it seems. The system lays it out these constellations will be their allies, and the selection is now starting. This is getting good. Dokja's scrolling through the sponsor options. Abyssal Black Flame Dragon, Demonic Judge, Sacrative Plotter, and Prisoner of the Golden Headband, and straight up knows these guys. He's remembering the original novel, noting that the protagonist only had 5 potential sponsors, and 4 isn't bad at all. Dokja decides to analyze their nicknames, Abyssal Demon and Garden, because he needs to figure out who these constellations are. He thinks to himself that this is basically a piece of cake for a reader of TWSA like him, and starts listing them out. The Abyssal Black Flame Dragon is first up, and Dokja immediately remembers this constellation's power, a huge boost to stamina and strength. He thinks selecting this one would be smart for the early scenarios, but there's a catch, of course. Unfortunately, the benefits end there. Using this constellation's power slowly drains your senses. Eventually, you become a total psychotic killer, which is a bit much, even for this world. Apparently, the Abyssal Black Flame Dragon usually supports edgelord attributes, which honestly tracks. Dokja's sizing up this constellation, but it's a risky pick, and he knows it. Dokja decides to put the unknown constellation on hold, but his eyes land on a familiar name. Demonic Judge of Fire! He's genuinely surprised to see her on the list, and immediately recalls this constellation's terrifying power. The Demonic Judge is straight up a monster, judging constellations and destroying them if they don't meet her standards. She's a total powerhouse, but Dokja remembers the original story. She's also incredibly unpredictable. This constellation is a wild card, and Dokja knows that picking her is a massive risk, but a potentially huge reward. Next up is Secretive Plotter, and Dokja realizes this constellation is the master manipulator from the story. The Secretive Plotter subtly influences events from the shadows, and Dokja remembers how crucial this guy was to the plot. But here's the thing. The Secretive Plotter is notoriously difficult to appease, always demanding something in return. Dokja scans the options again, realizing he's never seen this many constellations appear this early in the story. He's staring intently at the screen, clearly calculating every possible outcome, because our boy is about to make a big decision. Dokja scoffs at the options, thinking they all sound weak. But then his hand freezes on Prisoner of the Golden Headband. Wait a minute. This isn't just any prisoner, it's Sun Wukong, the Monkey King from Journey to the West. The app dives into the backstory, explaining that Sun Wukong is trapped by a magical golden headband, causing him immense pain. Dokja's shocked. This constellation isn't just powerful, it's a major character he remembers being sponsored in the novel. He can't believe this constellation is offering a contract already, seriously throwing off the timeline. Sun Wukong is described as the great sage, equal to heaven, and a total badass with fiery eyes. Dokja's heart is pounding. This changes everything, because the story is already diverging from what he knows. He's gripping his arm, clearly stressed, because picking Sun Wukong is a huge gamble, but could be a game changer. Dokja realizes how much he relied on Sun Wukong's established role, and now he has to figure out how to utilize him. This is insane. The constellation system is accelerating, and our boy knows things are about to get way more complicated. Dokja remembers a brutal passage from the novel, a massive battle with a shadowy figure, and it's seriously freaking him out. Suddenly, a message pops up. The sponsor selection is over. What does that even mean? Everyone is checking their devices, and Dokja's getting a look at the sponsors. It's a blue interface for each person. He wonders if he'll be able to beat whoever's coming next, and honestly, the tension is THK. No way? The scene cuts to a bloodbath, people are down, it's a total massacre, and it's happening now. The sponsor selection really is over, a message confirms, but at what cost? This is getting intense. A fluffy white dog waddles into the scene, and Dokja's companion, Kim Na-moon, makes a weird comment about someone making a very interesting choice. Dokja announces they need a break. He has to prep for the next scenario, but something feels off about this. He says he'll be back in 10 minutes, leaving Na-moon behind, and Bro is clearly worried about what's coming. But as Dokja walks away, a bright flash explodes behind him. Something went down while he wasn't looking. Okay, so Dokja runs into a guy named Hyun-song Lee, and they shake hands. It's weirdly polite considering the carnage. Hyun-song introduces himself as Army, but Dokja immediately recognizes the name. This dude is a major player. Dokja's internal monologue is BUELD. He remembers Hyun-song being a total tank in the early stages of the novel. He decides, straight up, that he needs to recruit Hyun-song, and his expression is intense. Hyun-song grabs Dokja's hand, and his grip is steer-on. Dokja confirms his tank status in his head. Hyun-song asks if Dokja knows who he is, and then this dude starts laying on the charm, kinda creepy. Dokja's completely blank-faced, and Hyun-song's arm is covered in blood. Something is seriously wrong. Hyun-song's grip tightens, and Dokja realizes he's being tested, but it's way more forceful than expected. Hyun-song shouts, "You did it, rookie!" But it feels less like praise and more like an evaluation. Dokja's getting a bad vibe. Hyun-song knows something, and our boy is totally caught off guard. Dokja lays down the law. He's sure everyone realizes this isn't a joke, and a game, like interface pops up. The scenario is brutal, kill something or die in 10 minutes. No pressure, right? Dokja scans the stats and it's all familiar. Attribute windows and skills, the works, and he's calling everyone out. Hyun-song's still freaking out, and the others look terrified as they survey the wreckage around them. Dokja explains that the company is probably gone. Everything's been destroyed, but Hyun-song isn't buying it. Hyun-song screams at Dokja, demanding to know if he's even listening, and it's intense, honestly. Dokja calmly says he's already prepared for this, and Hyun-song is straight up losing it. He points out that they've all been given rules in this messed up game, and it's a total mind trip. The others are silent, completely overwhelmed. Dokja's the only one who seems to have a plan. Dokja's face is stone cold. He's seen this all before, and he's ready to play the game. A young boy realizes this isn't a dream as he looks at the blood everywhere. It's actually happening. Someone states this is their new reality, and Dokja asks if anyone has a clue what's going on. No way. Hyun-song finally starts trusting Dokja, and a notification pops up confirming it. Hyun-song says they need to escape, but Dokja's already way ahead, anticipating this moment. Dokja's face is grim. He's seen this scenario before, and he's ready to lead them out. Okay, so things are Ain-san. A door just explodes inward, sending everyone flying, and it's straight up chaos. The blast is massive, a huge orange burst, and honestly, this dude had it coming, probably. Everyone's scrambling, covered in debris, and is that blood? It's a total disaster zone right now. Another door gets slammed, and the slam sound effect is huge. It's echoing everywhere and super intense. Someone shouts for Dokja, but he's clearly already dealing with a lot, barely holding himself up. They're checking the doors, trying to figure out what's happening, but one's already broken, completely wrecked. This guy tries to open another door, thinking they can escape, but it's jammed shut, no dice. He forces the door open, and it's empty. For a second, everyone thinks they're safe, but the door just reveals another broken door behind it. This is a nightmare, layers of destruction. Someone calls out that this one's broken too, and it's clear they're trapped, with no easy way out. Dokja glances down and sees he has 700 coins. Apparently he can use them again? No way, is this his get out of jail free card? Someone yells at Hyun-song to use his skill, but this dude looks totally lost. What skill even? Hyun-song is thinking about his skill, and a profile pops up revealing he's 28, a soldier, and his constellation is Master of Steel. The profile details his attribute as a soldier who turned a blind eye to injustice. Ouch, that's rough, but apparently, a constellation still chose him. Thankfully, his supporting constellation and attribute are the same as the novel. Meaning our boy Dokja knows what's up. Dokja points out Hyun-song probably checked his skills when he opened the attribute window earlier. He's an army guy. There has to be something. Hyung-sung admits he has one skill, but he has no idea how to use it. Seriously? This is peak timing, bro. Daksha just tells him to imagine using it like it's that simple. This dude is straight up a strategist. Hyung-sung is shocked. Apparently, that's all it takes. What is even happening right now? But honestly, Hyung-sung is looking pretty determined. Hopefully, this skill can actually help them get out of this mess. Hyung-sung activates his skill and a massive blade bursts from the floor. It's seriously intense. Everyone screams as the blade slices through the room, cutting through the steel door. No way, it actually worked. The team cheers, realizing Hyung-sung's skill is insane, and Daksha gets notifications. Hyung-sung is starting to trust him. They sprint down the subway tunnel, escaping the broken cabin, but Daksha remembers something crucial. If Daksha's memory is right, there's something waiting for them ahead. Oh, this doesn't feel good. Daksha realizes he knew this would happen. This dude is always prepared, always one step ahead. They round a corner and a shadowy figure appears, floating in the darkness. Talk about a creepy surprise! Everyone stares, completely frozen. As the figure gets closer, it's a ghost, and it's heading straight for them. The ghost is revealed to be a small, shadowy creature, totally unexpected but still terrifying. This is bad, really bad. This isn't just a broken door, it's a setup, and Daksha knew it all along. Daksha yells at everyone to stay put, but it's too late. They're already getting blasted by something. This shadowy creature is huge, and Daksha's straight up panicking because he hasn't prepared for this yet. He thinks he's saved them, but then the creature snaps something, and it sounds awful. The team is covered in blood and freaking out, realizing they should have listened to Daksha honestly. But before they can process things, a notification DNGS. A new scenario has arrived. A blue screen pops up, laying out the sub-scenario escape across a collapsed bridge to Oksu Station. It's an E difficulty. Easy, right? Wrong. The penalty for failure is a question mark. That's never good. Everyone stares at the scenario, especially the guy in the black suit. He looks seriously disturbed. Daksha knew this was coming, and he's bracing himself. Our boy is ready to strategize, as always. They have 20 minutes, and Daksha's face says it all. This is going to be a rough one. Daksha yells at everyone to run, even though he's covered in blood himself. Talk about leading by example. Sangha confirms Daksha's right. The bridge is still standing because they jumped off too soon, which is weird. She explains the bridge while collapse, and honestly, it's a little unsettling how calmly she says it. They're sprinting now, trying to outrun whatever's about to happen. It's a full-on escape sequence. The team thinks they're making good time, but Daksha's face says otherwise. This dude knows something's up. And boom, the bridge starts crumbling behind them. Explosions everywhere. It's total chaos. They're nearing Oksu Station, but the bridge is falling apart faster than they thought. No way this is easy. The bridge is straight up disintegrating, a swirling vortex of debris and water threatening to pull them under. The bridge buckles and cracks, and honestly, the sound effects are terrifying. Peel out. Everything's collapsing around them, but they're still pushing forward, determined to reach the station. Wait, hold up. A massive ichthyosaur bursts from the water, and it's Suji like bridge-sized huge. Everyone's freaking out, calling it an ichthyosaur, a sea serpent, even a commander. They're grasping at straws. The team spots the creature's size, and it's terrifying. This isn't just some monster, it's a disaster waiting to happen. Are aware, the ichthyosaur lets out a deafening roar, and you can practically feel the sound shaking the bridge. It opens its massive jaws, revealing rows of teeth, and honestly, it's a nightmare fuel moment. The bridge is starting to collapse, chunks of concrete falling everywhere, and they need to move now. They're booking it, convinced they can make it across if they just keep running. But Daksha looks skeptical. Daksha realizes the ichthyosaur isn't after them. It's after the bridge itself, which is a seriously messed up twist. They've got about 200 yards to go, but the bridge is falling apart faster with every second. No pressure, right? At this speed, they think they'll make it. But this feels too easy, and Daksha's expression says otherwise. Daksha gets splattered with blood and screams, "Oh no! This is not going well for our boy." A monstrous, grinning creature declares it's going to shake things up, and then, snap, something breaks. Ding! The scenario difficulty drops from E to D, which sounds good, but it's a trap obviously. The system announces the return of evil thoughts and rising black ether. Things are about to get seriously spooky. Eerie, glowing strands of ether fill the scene, like some kind of creepy energy web, super unsettling. Someone falls, surrounded by the glowing ether, and it's straight up a ghostly possession situation. More people are getting grabbed by the ether, and it's turning them into blood-soaked, monstrous beings. Suddenly, zombies? They're screaming as zombies, like they weren't prepared for this. Seriously, the system drops another bomb. Demonic beings have been resurrected. No way, this is just a zombie apocalypse. A terrifying figure in a hooded cloak is ripping people apart, and honestly, this dude is terrifying. They burst into Oksu Station, but it's instantly clear this place is a nightmare. Abandoned and creepy. Doctor yanks a kid back just as a possessed figure lunges, and bro is covered in blood. It's intense. The station erupts with a monstrous roar, and ghostly figures swarm around them. No time to breathe. Okay, so things are bad. Straight up apocalyptic. The bridge is getting destroyed around them. Doctor is reeling. He's clearly shocked, asking if K is okay amidst all this chaos. The scene cuts to a wider view and bro, the bridge is just collapse NG. People are falling everywhere. This dude is stumbling through the wreckage, covered in grime and blood. It's brutal, honestly. He's clutching his head, staring at the devastation, and realizing just how much is going down. He sees the aftermath, bodies scattered all over the bridge, and it's a total bloodbath. Doctor and Kay are screaming for each other as some crazy black energy starts swirling around them. Kay's getting covered in grime and blood, and they're both desperately trying to hold on. Doctor calmly states the bridge has collapsed, but then drops the bomb. He knew something like this would happen. He's accepting it, almost like he was prepared for all this, which is super unsettling. Okay, so Jilleong and Hyeonsong somehow made it out of that mess, which is a relief. But wait, a golden light suddenly bathes Dokja, and the system announces he's received a constellation's blessing. No way, it's activating Deus Ex Machina, creating a bridge of light right there. The bridge appears, but it's fragile, cracking under some unseen force, super ominous. And then it really starts breaking apart, with the system chiming in about the bridge needing an even number of people. Dokja realizes this is a trap, a rule set by the constellation, but it's too late. The bridge is actively failing. It's a total disaster, pieces flying everywhere, and people are scrambling to get across, totally unaware of the rule. The system helpfully spells it out. An odd number of people will cause the bridge to collapse. Seriously? The bridge is shattering, and the system's interface shows the Deus Ex Machina details. It's a literal life or death puzzle. This is insane. The bridge is completely falling apart, and everyone's about to plummet. Our boy is in deep trouble. Sangha suddenly clutches her head, yelling about something happening inside her. This is not good. She's bleeding from the ear, and everyone's realizing a constellation is intervening to save her. But this isn't just any intervention. It's Deus Ex Machina, a power with a massive cost. Everyone wonders if Sangha's supporting constellation is behind this, but the scale feels off. This kind of direct interference is rare even in the Tower of Wish, so what's really going on? Dokja tries to activate the character profile for whoever's helping Sangha. However, it's blocked. No profile exists at all, straight up. This is freaking everyone out, including our boy. Suddenly, someone yells behind you, and a shadowy hand reaches for Dokja. Dokja whirls around, and you can tell he's anticipating a fight. He's not even surprised anymore. But whoever's attacking is moving fast, and Dokja barely has time to react. Dokja gets slammed through a wall, no way, and lands hard, covered in debris. The attack sends a shockwave, and everyone's tossed around like ragdolls. It's total chaos. Dokja's down, but he's already scrambling to his feet, ignoring the pain. This dude is relentless. He spots the attacker Namwoon Kim, but something is seriously wrong with him. Namwoon is straight up possessed. His eyes glow, and he's covered in blood and dark energy. Apparently, humanoid demons are basically zombies, but they're way more dangerous if they take over someone strong. And of all people, it had to be Namwoon. Dokja's jaw drops, and honestly, he looks terrified. Namwoon lets out a monstrous growl, and Dokja realizes this isn't just a possession. It's a full-blown transformation. He's gasping for air, clutching a cigarette, and looks completely broken. But there's a fire in his eyes. Dokja understands this is a desperate fight for survival, and he's ready to do whatever it takes to win. Dokja activates his Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint skill, gaining insight into everything. It's his trump card, but the skill immediately shuts down when it scans Namwoon, revealing he has no consciousness left, total wipe. Namwoon attacks with insane speed, and Dokja barely manages to block, but it sends him flying. He realizes they're trapped, and the only way forward is a bridge of even numbers. Sounds sketchy. The problem, there are 3 of them, and the bridge collapses with an odd number of people. Oh no! Dokja straight up declares someone has to sacrifice themselves. That's dark, even for this story. The bridge is a gift from a constellation, but it's a one-way trip if you mess up the head count. Namwoon continues his relentless assault, and Sangha is getting hit. Dakja is desperately trying to protect her. Dakja yells for Sangha to get out of there, but she's caught in the crossfire. It's brutal. The image shows Namwoon's arm covered in blood, and Dakja's suit is getting wrecked. This is a fight to the death. Dakja's dragging Sangha, trying to escape, but Namwoon is right GHT on their heels. It's a mad dash. Suddenly, Namwoon's body starts glitching, and Dakja realizes something's off. No way is that normal. Dakja tries to scan Namwoon with his skill, but it fails. This dude's profile is locked, super sus. He recalls a special ability called Stigma, granted by constellations, and it clicks. Namwoon has won. It explains why Dakja's skills didn't work on Sangha or Namwoon. They're beyond his reach, seriously. Dakja's mind races, realizing how foolish he's been. He completely missed this critical piece. But get this, the constellations are impressed by Dakja's foolishness and selflessness, and they GFT him coins. He tries to access Namwoon's profile again, but it's still blocked. This guy is a total mystery. Dakja realizes that Namwoon isn't just someone from the story. He's an incarnation, a character beyond the plot. And honestly, this whole situation is messed up. Dakja's about to face a foe he can't even profile. Dakja straight up loses it, unleashing a primal roar as Namwoon transforms. It's terrifying. Namwoon and other possessed figures swarm Dakja, but he's fighting back with everything he's got. He's desperately trying to protect Sangha, swinging wildly. But these demons are relentless, bro. Dakja thinks if he grabs a demon, he can use it to cross the bridge, but it's a risky gamble. He immediately dismisses the idea, realizing it won't work. This is getting desperate. Bodies are dropping all around them, and it's a total bloodbath. It's brutal, honestly. Only 15 minutes left until the scenario ends. No time to waste. Our boy is under pressure. A weird little fluffball constellation praises Dakja's efforts, asking for someone to bless him. But nobody steps up. Seriously? Dakja's left to face the onslaught alone, and it's intense. Okay, so things are bad. The bridge is collapsing, straight up crumbling around them, and it's chaos. This dude, Kim Dakja, is pushing through a crowd of people, desperately trying to get away from the destruction. But the crowd, they're turning, becoming these monster-like figures. It's terrifying, and the scene explodes with energy. Our boy is getting swarmed, but he's ready. He knows this scenario. He's been here before in the novel. He pulls out a knife, and honestly, this dude had it coming. Dakja is going for a quick, decisive strike. However, the attack isn't enough. More monsters keep coming, and they're closing in fast, surrounding him. He's dodging and weaving, but one of the monsters gets a hit in, and Dakja goes do-dubbin. No way! But he's not out yet. He kicks one of the monsters, sending it flying, and tries to get back on his feet. He's fighting for his life, a desperate struggle against a sea of enemies. It's intense, bro. And the screen goes black, but then the word Omniscient appears, hinting at Dakja's power and knowledge. Dakja takes a step forward, and suddenly, everything goes silent. It's eerily calm before the storm. Then bam! A figure in a long coat steps out of the darkness, and it's clear this isn't a friendly meet-up. The figure delivers a brutal blow, and Dakja goes flying. Ouch, that looked painful. More figures emerge surrounding Dakja, and honestly, they look absolutely terrifying. He's getting hit from all sides, but this dude isn't going down without a fight. He's throwing punches. The scene is chaotic, filled with wad sounds as Dakja battles through the attackers. It's intense. He's forcing his way through the crowd, and it's a brutal struggle. Blood splatters everywhere. Dakja's eyes glow with an eerie light, and he's clearly accessing something deep within his knowledge. Someone finally shouts, "Who the hell are you?" But Dakja doesn't even flinch. He's unfazed. Our boy is radiating power, and it's obvious he's about to unleash something massive. Get ready? Jung-Hyuk is straight up terrified, realizing he doesn't stand a chance against whoever is coming. Suddenly, a personal skill activates a character profile. It's like a video game mechanic. But the profile is way too detailed, so it converts into a character summary instead. Interesting. We get the rundown. Jung-Hyuk is a regressor, mythical, a pro gamer's rared, and packed with skills. He's got everything from Eye of the Sage to lead detection. This dude is a powerhouse. Apparently, someone reaches out and Jirabas Dakja. No way, a surprise attack! Dakja cries out in pain, getting yanked forward, but he's clearly not going down easy. Two guys are holding him, and he's coughing. It looks like they're really hurting him. Dakja keeps coughing, struggling against their grip, but they're holding on tight. Everything fades to black. Seriously. Talk about a cliffhanger, bro. This man, Jung-Hyuk, is straight up strangling Dakja. It's a full-on chokehold, no hesitation. Dakja realizes this is the first way to survive the apocalypse. It's being strangled. What is happening? Yu is revealed as the regressor. A title that sounds way more intense than it is right now, honestly. Apparently, Yu is the one who kickstarts the whole world, ending tragedy. Talk about a bad first impression? Dokja is still getting squeezed, but he's not giving up. He's fighting back, even if it looks hopeless. Suddenly, Yu throws Dokja off a collapsing building. No time to process, just pure chaos and a plummet. A woman shouts, "Dokja!" She's clearly worried, but it's probably too late for a rescue attempt. Dokja plummets past debris as the building crumbles, and he's bracing for impact, which is not good. But wait, Dokja activates something, and a massive force slows his descent. What a save! He lands with a huge Duachosh, still alive, but surrounded by wreckage, and Yu is watching from above. Yu demands Dokja's name, and our boy, even while getting choked, delivers, "It's Kim Dokja!" Yu scoffs at the name, calling it strange, but Dokja casually admits he hears that a lot. This dude is unbothered. Suddenly Yu swings a sword at Dokja, and honestly, it's a brutal fast attack. Dokja barely blocks with his arm, and the force sends him flying backwards with a WHUMP. Ouch! He's clearly hurt, but he manages to get back on his feet. Ready for another round? What a fighter. Yu advances sword drawn and starts unleashing a flurry of attacks. Dokja is dodging like crazy. Dokja tries to counterattack, but Yu easily deflects it, saying he anticipated this move. This guy is good. Yu keeps pressing the attack, and Dokja is taking a beating, but he's still standing, refusing to fall. The others watch in disbelief. They can't believe Dokja is even lasting this long against Yu. It's insane. They're all shocked, saying how strong he is, considering they just finished a minor quest. What a monster. Yu straight up declares this is the worst possible outcome, admitting he hoped it wouldn't happen. He reveals Junghyuk is the most dangerous character in the whole world of TWSA. No joke. Yu's had 3 regressions already and lost his humanity, which explains everything, honestly. Yu says fine and starts stomping toward Dokja, ready to crush him underfoot. Dokja grits his teeth, bracing for the impact. This is gonna hurt. Yu's boot comes down, and Dokja's hands fly up to block, but it's a brutal hit. Dokja coughs up blood, but he manages to grab Yu's leg, refusing to be flattened. He looks up at Yu, demanding to know why he's doing this, and Yu just scoffs. Yu says Dokja should be showing him respect, because he's pro-gamer Junghyuk. The nerve! Dokja stares back, shocked, realizing Yu is younger than him. This dude is seriously messed up. Yu claims he works for a game company, but Dokja calls total BS. He knows Yu is a fictional character. Someone recognizes Dokja and shouts he's super famous, admitting they used to be a fan. The fan explains Yu's fame was just part of the novel's story, but he really was a fan. He swears. This dude lays it all out. He liked Yu, hated him, resented him, and cheered him on through 3,000 episodes. He reveals he was with Yu throughout the entire novel's journey, a 3,000-episode saga. No way! Yu offers to forgive Dokja's rudeness, but warns it won't change anything. Smooth talker. Dokja calmly says he can see right through Yu's act, and has one question for him. He asks how Yu survived the subway, the one Dokja literally saw him die in back in the novel. Dokja smirks, knowing Yu would ask this. He's been waiting for this moment. Our boy Dokja's playing 4D chess right now, and it's amazing to watch. Yu is about to get wrecked. Dokja's skill, Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, levels up. He's getting a serious power boost. The system reveals only Hyang-song Lee and Namwoon Kim were supposed to survive, but Namwoon is already dead. Dokja's mind is racing. How did they live, and who even is this guy? He needs info, and if this guy poses a threat, Dokja will kill him straight up. Dokja wonders if he can read Yu's mind. Now, that would be a game changer. Our boy is playing the long game, and Yu is walking right into his trap. It's brilliant. Okay, so things are wildy. Our boy Dokja just activated a personal skill, but it's a glitch, straight up. The skill is called, the fourth wall has blocked the eye of the sage, and it's messing with everything. Suddenly, this shadowy figure appears, radiating insane power, and it's all crackling with energy. This dude, EGIN, flinches hard when he sees it, and a golden light starts to envelop his hand. The figure grabs Jian, and you can hear bones cracking. It's brutal, honestly. Jiyoon is freaking out, asking what this thing even is. Like, duh, it's a monster. The grip tightens and Jiyoon is clearly in serious pain, but then everything changes. Planes are flying around, and it looks like a full-blown battle is happening above them. Dokja realizes he has a skill that can actually block the eye of the sage. No way, that's huge. He's shocked, saying he had a skill that could block it, but it's like his knowledge of the novel is finally paying off. Dokja is losing it, realizing he messed things up, complicating the already insane situation. He knows someone won't believe him now and needs a new plan, but then a voice cuts in. A mysterious figure tells Dokja he needs an ally, straight up saying he can't clear Scenario 46 alone. Dokja asks how this person knows all this. Are they also a regressor, someone who's relived this before? The figure brushes it off, saying who they are doesn't matter, only that they can help Dokja. This dude grabs Dokja and honestly, it's a super aggressive move. Dokja realizes this guy isn't a regressor. If he was, he'd recognize him, which is a relief. But then the figure drops a bombshell he knows the future Junjiok doesn't know. Dokja is reeling, but this dude is clearly playing a dangerous game, and we're here for it. The figure's grip tightens, and it's clear this isn't just a friendly chat. Something big is happening. Okay, so this figure reveals Junjiok has a power, the ability to see the future? No way! But here's the kicker, it's the prophet attribute, super rare and able to block detection skills. Apparently, only one person in this whole world had it before, and it wasn't Junjiok, which is wild. Someone else knew Junjiok had this power, and they knew he'd be here. Creepy, right? The figure straight up asks Junjiok if he knows what's going to happen, and expects an answer. However, he quickly follows up with a truth bomb. Junjiok's future knowledge isn't complete. This dude is laying it all out. All regressors hit a point they can't predict unless they repeat everything. So basically, if you don't perfectly replay events, you're flying blind in the future. Heavy stuff. And now we get a flashback to this guy grabbing Junjiok, super aggressive, but maybe necessary. This whole situation is a mess, but our boy is trying to figure out how to break the cycle. Okay, so Dokja declares he can act as Junjiok's prophet, because he's read the whole novel. He straight up says he's the only reader of this story, which is a little creepy if you ask me. The figure explains having a prophet would be helpful, not just for Scenario 46, but for fighting Zarathustra. He wants Dokja to be Junjiok's companion, and honestly, it's a power move. But Dokja isn't having it. He refuses, saying he's not a tool to be used. The figure doesn't even try to reason, and just drags Dokja along. No consent whatsoever. Dokja's trying to protest, coughing and yelling for him to stop, but it's not working. This dude is being pulled along like a rag doll, and it's kinda rough to watch. However, the figure finally stops, declaring he's made up his mind and Dokja will be his companion. Dokja is stunned, staring with wide eyes. This whole situation is spiraling out of control. Okay, so a bridge of light appears. It's called the Bridge of Even Numbers, and needs an even amount of people to cross. But here's the catch, a horde of possessed people is rushing towards the bridge, and they're definitely more than two. Dokja realizes this is a trap, and he's desperately trying to convince the figure to stop. No one listens to our boy. The figure ignores him, stepping onto the bridge and forcing Dokja to follow, dragging him along by the collar. Dokja manages to convince the figure to let him go, but he's totally exhausted from the struggle. This is rough. He's relieved to be safe, thinking he's outsmarted the figure, and actually managed to convince him. However, the system announces that Dokja is worn out from concentration, and his Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint skill is deactivated. No way, that's huge. Dokja just lost his biggest advantage and he's totally blind now. And the worst part, the figure's expression is creepy and unreadable. He planned this all along. Dokja is officially screwed, and straight up realizes he's been played like a fiddle, but he has no idea what's coming. The figure demands one last question. If Dokja is really a prophet, can he see his own future? Dokja tries to turn and run, but the figure grabs him, a struggle erupting instantly. Dokja's getting tossed around, clearly losing this fight. This dude needs a power, a base set. But then, a colossal, serpentine monster bursts onto the scene, and it's headed straight for them. The figure doesn't even flinch, calmly stepping aside as the monster's massive head descends. No way. The monster isn't attacking Dokja, it's obeying the figure's command to prophecy. Dokja is absolutely terrified, staring into the monster's red eyes as it looms over him. The monster's claws are inches from Dokja's face, and honestly, he looks completely helpless. It's a setup. The figure orchestrated everything to force Dokja to prophecy under duress. Dokja is about to spill whatever secrets the figure wants, and it's a chilling moment for our boy. Dokja is cornered, and he's seriously questioning if he should just give in. Will he let go or not? No way. The monster's mouth opens, revealing rows of terrifying teeth as it prepares to devour Dokja. But before the monster can strike, someone yells, "Damn this psychopath!" It's a new player entering the scene. This new guy is clearly shocked, staring at Dokja with a look that says, "I know something you don't." He straight up declares he knows this Junjiok better than anyone. Talk about a bold claim. The guy approaches Daksha, offering to tell him a couple things first, and Daksha is understandably confused. And he lays down the law he's not a lackey, so Daksha better treat him as an equal. This dude is confident. But it doesn't stop there. He demands reciprocity, saying Daksha needs to cooperate with him too. Daksha asks for his answer, and the guy stares him down, making it clear this is a serious request. However, it's a trap. Daksha is realizing this whole situation is way more complicated than he thought. The new guy reveals he's from the same world Daksha is, the real world. But it gets weirder. He says he was also the reader. Okay, so our boy Kim Daksha is straight up drowning, trapped underwater with debris everywhere. He's desperately trying to hold his breath, knowing this whole situation is because of that awful novel. Bubbles surround him as he fights to stay conscious. But it's getting harder and harder to breathe. He's pushing through the pain, refusing to give up, even as his lungs scream for air. Daksha keeps struggling, reminding himself he has to survive, no matter what. Suddenly, everything goes white, like a blinding flash. What is even happening? No way. A massive, terrifying monster emerges from the depths, and it's heading right for them. Someone gets slammed into the monster, and Daksha's caught in the chaos, trying to avoid getting crushed. He gasps for air, finally breaking the surface, but it's just a momentary relief before getting pulled back under. Daksha's completely submerged again, surrounded by wreckage, and honestly, this is a nightmare. Daksha's staring right at the monster, a creepy smile spreading across his face. It's kinda unsettling, honestly. He's using his phone's flashlight to scan the wreckage, searching for something. It's a little too calm for this situation. Oh no, bodies are floating everywhere, tangled in debris. This is getting super grim super fast. Someone's grabbing at him, but it's a broken, desperate reach, and Daksha just barely avoids getting pulled under again. He's fighting his way through the water, but it's a total struggle, gasping for air and cursing under his breath. Daksha calls this guy a psychopath, and honestly, he's not wrong. This companion is seriously messed up. He's remembering how this companion has never truly bonded with anyone ever, because he always fails. The monster's getting closer, and Daksha's getting pulled under, but he's still somehow observing everything. Daksha realizes why this companion is acting out. It's all about trying to finally make a connection. But Daksha knows this companion will fail again, and it's just sad, man. Straight up sad. Daksha's convinced this whole situation is a test, a way for the mysterious figure to see if he's worthy. But the system message hits hard. He led the scenario, and now he's floating in this creepy, dark water. He's trying to figure out what's going on. But then these strings start wrapping around him, and it's seriously unsettling. No way. He gets yanked under, straight up dragged into the depths, and the water explodes around him. The system reveals these ichthyosaurs have acid stomachs, and they start secreting it 3 minutes after they eat. Daksha realizes he doesn't have much time left, and honestly, this is getting intense. The monster starts cracking, like it's falling apart, and Daksha's getting tossed around like a rag doll. But the monster's not destroyed, it's just disappointed. And that's even more terrifying, honestly. Daksha's covered in grime, looking defeated, but still trying to stay alive. Our boy is a fighter. He's desperately clinging to the edge, the monster looming over him, and it's a total cliffhanger. The monster declares it's been waiting for Daksha, and honestly, that's a little creepy, even for this story. But it's not just waiting. It wants Daksha to collect coins from him, which is super vague and unsettling. Daksha's getting tossed around inside the monster's stomach, surrounded by dissolving walls and acid, and it's brutal. He's desperate to survive, but the monster reveals it doesn't want power, it wants a companion, a friend. Daksha asks if it's been waiting for him, and the monster confirms, a dark and starry sky swirling around them. This dude is standing tall, looking out at the cosmos, and it's a total power pose moment. He vows he'll gain the strength to stand as the monster's equal, but it's a promise hanging heavy in the air. Daksha's falling through the water, sinking deeper, and things look grim, like really grim. But wait, the monster's voice echoes, saying it's been waiting for Daksha to collect those coins. This whole situation is a mess, and Daksha is straight up confused about what those coins even are. Daksha gets a quest, get across a collapsed bridge for 200 coins. But the penalty for failure is a mystery. He asks if there's room to negotiate, and the monster straight up laughs at him. Rude. The monster's impressed Daksha figured out the coin system with so little info. Apparently, everyone's watching him. It reveals Daksha can buy his way out of failed sub-scenarios with coins, which is convenient, kinda. But here's the catch: escaping this scenario will cost him 100 coins, and that's a lot. The monster grins, and honestly, that smile is terrifying. This dude is menacing. Doctor's jaw drops. He only has 5 100 coins? No way this is happening. He's in disbelief, staring at the coin count, thinking the monster has to be joking. The monster's still grinning, and it's clear Daksha is trapped. What a mess. This dude is officially stuck between a rock and a hard place, and a very creepy monster. Daksha loses it. He demands the monster just kill him, straight up begging for it. But the monster's not having it, saying Daksha can't even think about dying. This little fluffy creature, Yu Jung-hyuk, pipes up, asking if the monster can actually fulfill Daksha's wish. The monster scoffs, confidently declaring nobody will lay a finger on Daksha. Daksha's expression changes. A creepy smile spreads across his face, and honestly, it's unsettling. The monster's getting seriously ticked off, saying Daksha is pushing its buttons. Yu Jung-hyuk is shocked. He asks how this monster even knows Daksha's streamer name. Daksha casually asks about the monster's career as a streamer. Bro, what? Daksha's still smiling, but now it's even creepier, and we all know something big is about to go down. Yu Jung-hyuk demands the monster shut off the channel so they can talk. This is getting intense. The scene cuts to inside the monster. It's all fleshy and weird, no way. We see a massive structure of cables and machinery within the monster. But then, so, what does that mean? Daksha tells the monster to spill what it knows, and honestly his smirk is terrifying. Yu Jung-hyuk is losing it, questioning how the monster knows about the star stream. The monster flips out, asking how Daksha even knows about the star stream when he's only a reader. Okay, so Dokkaebi Byung straight up offers Kim Daksha a contract to make him the Dokkaebi king? No way. The screen flashes Omniscient radar. This is getting intense, bro. Chapter 30 Contract Part 2 begins, and it's already clear things are spiraling out of control. That weird, fluffy creature is grinning like a maniac, and honestly, it's super unsettling. Daksha laughs back, which is concerning, to say the least, considering this thing is clearly evil. He's laughing harder, and the little monster is going full on terrifying, showing all its teeth. Someone yells that Daksha is crazy for even considering this, but he remembers everything, all the constellations offers. Daksha reads through a list of things he's rejected: abyssal black flames, demonic judgments. This dude is playing a dangerous game. He's thinking hard, clearly weighing his options, and you can tell this decision is gonna change everything. But he's accepted the contract, and now we're really seeing what kind of power this whole situation unlocks. Daksha straight up rejects all the constellation's sponsorship offers. He doesn't want their power. But he's confused, asking how Byung even knows about the star stream. It's a little sus. He tells Byung he can't accept a sponsorship because Dokkaebis aren't constellations. Simple as that. Byung doesn't get it, though, and Daksha clarifies he never asked for sponsorship, period. Huh. Byung's totally thrown, and that fluffy little monster starts questioning things. Byung starts rambling about my channel, and our boy Daksha is about to drop a bomb. Daksha wants to enter an exclusive contract with Byung's channel, a stream contract, no less. Byung's shocked, asking if he's really proposing a stream contract between them, and Daksha confirms. The Manhwa explains extreme contract constellations and Dokkaebis link up for coin shares. Basically, Byung hosts a constellation's avatar on his channel, and Daksha gets a cut. Genius! Byung is livid, accusing Daksha of having a low subscriber count. Talk about a burn! Daksha fires back, saying Byung doesn't know what he's talking about, and the tension is building. Byung explains there are two types of Starstream subscribers, those who entertain and those who are entertained. He reveals constellations join Starstream channels to find interesting incarnations. Basically, people to watch. We cut to a montage of people watching streams, totally hooked, and it's kinda creepy. Byung says Daksha should accept his offer, since he doesn't even have a supporting constellation. Daksha is shocked, questioning why Byung thinks constellations even join Starstream in the first place. Byung lays it all out: constellations either make streams entertaining or find someone interesting to follow. Daksha's reeling, realizing the implications of this whole system. It's a popularity contest. Byung calls Daksha impressive for a human, but points out his subscriber count is only 3 digits. Ouch! Daksha asks what would happen if a channel could entertain and showcase interesting incarnations. A wild thought. Byung scoffs, saying it's impossible, but then this tiny fluffy creature starts talking. No way! This little guy, apparently a Dokkaebi, explains constellations look for incarnations to sponsor and then ditch them. But what if an incarnation refuses a constellation's support? This Dokkaebi is getting heated. And what if that unsupported incarnation somehow outperforms everyone else? The drama is building, seriously. Byong confirms it's happened before, saying yes, that's exactly right, this is getting good. He reveals those incarnations were all probably dying to know who dared defy the regressor. Talk about a setup! The Dokubi is losing it, yelling at someone, but we don't know who. The suspense is killing me. Apparently, someone stood up to the regressor, and the Dokubi is questioning if they're a prophet. Wild! This dude thinks he knows everything, but Byong is about to drop a truth bomb. I can feel it. Daksha straight up tells Byong he'll prove he can become the Dokubi king. Talk about confidence. He demands Byong just shut up and listen, and Byong is now amused. The Dokubi is losing it, demanding 100 coins for a checkout since Daksha failed the scenario. Daksha's all smug, thinking he's in control, but then he gets splashed with water. What the heck? He's soaked, and honestly, this dude had it coming, messing with the Dokubi. Daksha starts walking, trying to regain some composure, but the floor is super slippery. He nearly falls, and Byong's looking down on him like told you so, rough. The Dokubi is a Syria memming about channels and things are escalating fast. But then Daksha declares it's about to start. He's got a plan, and he's grinning. He raises a finger and you just know something huge is about to go down. Whoa, hold up, a hidden scenario just DRP'd on Daksha, and it's called Commander Slayer. This ain't no regular quest, it's AFOD difficulty, and the conditions are INZN. Slay a Sea Commander Ichthyosaur and escape. 10 days to complete it, with a reward of 9,000 coins but fail, and it's straight up DAH. Likes, the little hamster creature is freaking out, yelling about the scenario, and honestly. Same. Daksha's underwater now, and someone's sinking in the background. No way this is a coincidence. He's muttering about constellations, sounding seriously worried, but the hamster's trying to keep it together. The hamster begs everyone to calm down, but it's clear this hidden scenario is a huge problem. Daksha's getting a new quest notification. It's all glitchy and futuristic, but the message is clear. The details of the Commander Slayer scenario are plastered on the screen: difficulty, conditions, the works. This is bad, really bad. Our boy is in deep water, and this scenario feels like a trap. Daksha's checking the shop, hoping for a lifeline, but he's only a Dokubi, so preferential treatment is off the table. He's browsing the shop, but it's limited. No search function, and he needs something specific stat. Daksha straight up threatens Byong to open the shop wider, because a streamer's vow is not a joke, apparently. The shop's name flashes on screen, the Starstream Cash Shop. Sounds like someone's got a spending problem. He's looking at the items, starter packs, EXP boosts, random boxes, but everything's super expensive. Daksha's got 100 coins, which sounds like a lot until you see the price tags, seriously. The little hamster creature finally finds the search button, bottom right corner. Thank goodness for sidekicks. The hamster chirps thanks, and Daksha looks relieved. Finally, a chance to find what he needs. But wait, this dude is still worried. He's got a feeling this whole situation is a setup. Someone calls out, hey, how about a little help? And Daksha's about to get pulled into even more trouble. Daksha spots the ancient dragon's heart, an SS grade item with near infinite mana. But it's sold out, of course. He's convinced the shop owner is lying about the stock, and his little hamster sidekick is equally suspicious. Daksha orders the hamster to search for Arch, Demon's Eyeball, and White Star Weapon Aura. This dude is planning something. Someone calls out, revealing they bought the heart. No way, this is exactly what Daksha feared. We get a quick shot of the harbor, and Daksha asks what the buyer needs 4 bags of mucus and 4 thorns for. The buyer just replies, that's for you to find out, and honestly, that's a little ominous. Daksha's definitely walking into a trap, but he's got a plan, and we're here for it. Okay, so the sky is falling apart, meteors everywhere, and it's totally apocalyptic, bro. More meteors streak across the sky, and honestly, it's kinda beautiful if you ignore the impending doom. But hold up, this isn't just a meteor shower, it's a full-blown aerial battle with planes blasting away at something. Then, out of nowhere, these massive, ancient dragons erupt from the water, straight up destroying everything. This dragon is huge, and it's roaring like it owns the place: red eyes, massive teeth, the works. The dragon opens its mouth, and it's even bigger than we thought, revealing rows and rows of terrifying teeth. A massive wave of water crashes down, and you can see someone getting pulled under. No way! This dude is struggling against the current, desperately trying to stay afloat, but it's a losing battle. The dragon's jaws close around him, and it's really not good. Honestly, this is brutal. He's getting dragged down, clawing at the water, but the dragon's grip is too strong. It's a total disaster. No way! The dragon's insides are squishy. This dude is fighting inside the beast? He's clawing his way through muscle and organs, and it's as gross as it sounds, bro. He's smashing through layers of tissue, and honestly, the squish sound effects are on point. This dude is relentless, creating a path with some kind of energy blade. Talk about guts. He's slicing and dicing, pushing forward, but the dragon's interior is a labyrinth of veins and stuff. The dragon thrashes, trying to crush him, but our boy is dodging like a pro. He's getting closer to the heart, but the dragon is convulsing violently, making it nearly impossible. Everything goes dark for a second, then flashes of blue energy. What's happening? It's a massive energy blast, and it's ripping through the dragon's insides, straight up exploding everything. And then black, he's vanished. But the screen says Omniscient Reader, which is ominous AF. He bursts out of the dragon, exhausted and gasping for air, straight up wrecked. But he immediately realizes something is wrong. He's overextended himself, pushing too hard. He questions if he overestimated his abilities, realizing he's just an ordinary reader, a dakja. This dude straight up admits he's not the protagonist of this story, which is kinda sad. He's still panting, worried about his mother, wondering if she's okay. Family first, even in a crisis. He convinces himself she should be fine, because she's his mother, of course. But then, tears start falling. No way! It's a flashback. He remembers a life before, a world that wasn't great either. He's thinking about how at least he didn't end up as fish food in his old life, which is darkly funny. He's desperately trying to convince himself this can't be real, wishing it was just a bad dream. But the world before wasn't all that great, so maybe this chaos is better. Our boy is a mess. He's fighting to pull himself free from this, whatever it is, some kind of viscous, fleshy prison. But it's not just physical. He's exhausted, gasping, and straight up struggling to stay conscious. This dude is really pushing himself, forcing his way through the goo with raw willpower. Honestly, he finally breaks free, covered in the stuff, looking totally wrecked. But someone is impressed. No way, constellations are giving him coins for surviving. Apparently, his struggle is entertainment for them. He's trying to catch his breath, still covered in the goo, and then someone acknowledges him. A voice praises his efforts, and our boy is clearly taken aback. He didn't expect anyone to notice. He's staring up, covered in grime, and a little bit hopeful, like maybe this isn't a total loss. The scene shifts, showing the massive scale of the place. It's a network of these fleshy tunnels, so creepy. And now it's the fourth day, with him looking even more beat up, and honestly, he looks like he's seen some stuff. He's crashing, completely spent, but the hidden scenario suddenly ends. Thank goodness. No way, he's the first to hunt a tier 7 sea monster and gets a huge coin reward. 9,000. Turns out, the monster is a stone hog, usually a coastline creature, and this one is messed up. These stone hogs use special thorns to pierce and dry their prey, but this one's been used differently. The little floating guy is shocked. Apparently, this dude used the thorn in a way nobody expected. The system shows the stone hog's sharp thorn is available in the shop, costing 100 coins, with only 17 left. He's still exhausted, trying to catch his breath after that fight. This dude is a machine. Someone is actually acknowledging his strength, which is a huge deal after being ignored for so long. He's listening to this mysterious voice, and it's clear he's starting to feel hopeful. But it seems like the voice isn't just impressed. They're straight up analyzing his tactics, which is kinda creepy. Okay, so the voice reveals hammer seahorses have special mucus to survive ichthyosaur stomach acid. Wild. Before the thorn even hits, our boy covers himself in the seahorse mucus. A total last-minute save. He straight up Duran cast the ichthyosaur fluid. Bro is risking it all to absorb its strength. No way. The system confirms he absorbed the ichthyosaur's power and his stamina just leveled up. The floating guy explains hammer seahorses evolved the mucus to survive being eaten. It's a brutal cycle. The voice is still analyzing him, calling him a jerk. Ouch, harsh words from a constellation. But someone thinks it was an amazing survival drama, and wants the constellations to agree. And honestly, it sounds like this whole situation is a test of sheer willpower for our boy. Someone is clearly impressed, but also annoyed, and that's the energy we love to see right now. He's hacking away at the wall with that metal bar, desperate to break through. It's intense. No way. He actually cracks the wall open, revealing a glowing orb inside, and the floating guy is shocked. The system announces he's found the ichthyosaur's nucleus. A huge item? This dude is collecting power-ups like it's nothing. Someone is losing it over this discovery, questioning how he knows all this, but our boy is firm. He won't trade this for anything but broken faith. The floating guy wonders if anyone even has this nucleus, and then immediately says he wants to buy it. Greedy little fluffball. But before they can even negotiate, a voice interrupts, demanding they wait. What's going on? The voice addresses the constellations, and it sounds serious, like a big reveal is coming. And just like that, we're hit with an advertisement. Seriously? This is so frustrating. The floating guy is sparkling and grinning, while our boy looks on. Something's definitely up with this fluffball. Okay, so everything's going sideways. The city is straight up getting destroyed, buildings are crumbling, it's chaos. The sky is wild, like a purple nebula is forming. But it's definitely bad news, not pretty. This massive stone golem just appears, and it's immediately laying waste to everything in its path. No way. But wait, it gets worse. A giant praying mantis thing shows up, all creepy and clicking, ready to fight. The mantis swings, sending debris flying, and honestly, this dude had it coming, getting in its way. They clash, the golem and the mantis, and it's a full-on monster brawl right in the middle of the city. The mantis is relentless, swinging its arms and trying to slice through the golem's defenses. Our boy is scavenging through a wrecked convenience store, grabbing whatever he can find, probably supplies. He's desperately flipping through books, maybe looking for clues or a way to survive this insane situation. He's collecting whatever he can, but it feels like a tiny gesture against this massive destruction, bro. A system message pops up. The area is highly contaminated, and they need to get underground ASAP. Our boy is hauling 2 massive bags, saying he has enough supplies, but honestly it looks heavy. He's prepping, saying he needs to get to safety before an item's effect wears off. He wasted time changing. He's got something called Elaine Monkey's lungs. You literally put it in your mouth to neutralize poison. No way. Suddenly, someone nearby cries for help, and it's clear this dude is injured and in bad shape. More cries for help. There's still someone alive in this mess, struggling to get free. He spots a person, bound and bleeding, and it's clear things are even grimmer than he thought. This dude is seriously hurt, covered in blood, and desperately pleading for help. It's rough. He's trying to help, but the injured person is barely conscious and looks absolutely terrified. More cries for help echo. This situation is spiraling, and our boy is running out of time. He's sprinting, hauling the injured woman, and straight up dodging debris. It's intense. He remembers Oksu Station was destroyed, so he's aiming for Jimo Station instead. Smart move. But the station's shut down. Seriously. They're racing against time, and this is a major setback. He's gasping for air. Elaine Monkey's lungs are working overtime, and this dude is pew-signed himself. He mutters 4. He's counting exits, trying to find one that's open. The pressure is mounting. Exit 4. He finally spots it, but honestly the station is a total wreck, barely recognizable. They stumble through the abandoned station, and it's eerie. Totally deserted and covered in snow. He's exhausted but still carrying her, refusing to give up. Our boy is a machine, I swear. He's breathing heavily, desperately trying to reach safety, and it's clear he's reaching his limit. They finally make it to the exit, and it's a small victory. But what awaits them outside? The station starts shaking, and it's not an earthquake. Something's breaking apart above them. Everyone flinches, clearly terrified, as pieces of the ceiling come crashing down around them. One of the guys yells at them, saying there's no room, but our boy isn't having it. He's determined to get through. He's clutching a blue gem, biting his lip, and straight up ignoring the protests. This dude is laser-focused. He demands they let them pass, explaining he has an injured woman, but the other guy doesn't care. Someone shouts that the place is overcrowded, but our boy is unmoved. He's not backing down now. He questions if this has ever happened in TWSA, and it's clear he's recalling details from the novel. He grabs onto a support beam, bracing himself as more debris falls, and it's a desperate struggle. He's holding on tight, and you can see the strain on his face. This is seriously intense. He's securing the injured woman, making sure she doesn't fall, but something is definitely wrong. The ceiling is collapsing, and it's a total disaster. Everyone's panicking and trying to escape. He shoves his way forward, protecting the injured woman, but it's a brutal fight against the crowd. They finally burst through and a system message pops up. You have entered a safety zone. Thank goodness. But wait, something's wrong. He spots a man on the ground, clutching his side, and it looks bad. He's checking the man's wound, realizing it's a serious injury, and the woman is clearly in pain. The woman gasps, questioning if the situation ever occurred in the novel, TWSA. He confirms she's likely not meant to survive this far in the story, and it's a grim realization. However, this dude is determined to change fate. He's got a plan, you can see it in his eyes. He's applying pressure to the wound, desperately trying to stabilize her, and it's a race against time. And honestly, this is a high-stakes situation. He's going to rewrite the story or die trying. Our boy is scoping out the scene, wondering who's behind all this chaos. He's checking character profiles. He spots him, the guy who's causing trouble, and a flash goes off, blinding everyone nearby. A group of men surrounds the target, and the flash illuminates them all. It's a straight-up power move. Heavy footsteps approach, and this dude is making his presence known, step by step. One of the goons demands to know who the hell our boy is, and honestly, he's not backing down. He's squaring up, hands in pockets, and it's clear he's not intimidated by this crew at all. A system message appears. The constellation, prisoner of the golden headband, is not pleased with these unwelcome guests. They finally ask for his name, Dr. Kim, and he confirms, playing it cool as ever. He tries to mimic Jung Hyuk-yu's voice. It's a little awkward, but he's committing to the bit. But wait, the tension is building. The goons are clearly not buying it, and things are about to go down. Okay, so one of the goons starts rambling about Cheolsu, and things get doey fast. The guy in charge FLINCHS when he hears the name, and it's clear something's off. No way that's a normal reaction. He's furious, straight up demanding to know what happened, and how they dared act without his permission. The story acknowledges it's hitting all the post-apocalyptic villain tropes, but our boy isn't having it. Cheolsu is laughing hysterically, claiming he should have been the first to go. This dude is losing it. They demand the woman, but then someone points out, is that Fode? Seriously? Another goon tries to tell him to leave the food, and his smile is genuinely terrifying. It's unsettling. He casually says he'll let them live so they can scream, which is just cold, honestly. But real humans are even more evil than the story's villains. That's a bold statement, even for this world. Our boy senses something bad is about to happen, and the system confirms, the prisoner of the golden headband is Pisadi. He's thinking about them. The people who will suffer if he fails, and it's a surprisingly vulnerable moment. But the moment is shattered when one of the goons snaps, yelling that he'll make our boy pay for messing with them. The constellation demonic judge of fire is hyped for the upcoming fight. It's about to get real messy. Okay, so Dacha is rushing through Seoul Station following the bus route on the map line 334 to Jumo Station. He's heading for Jumo Station, and the station signs confirm he's on the right track, but it's super crowded. Our boy is weaving through people, desperately trying to reach his destination, but the station is packed with panicked commuters. Suddenly, chaos erupts as people start shouting about someone being hurt. It's straight-up pandemonium in the station. Doctor spots Hyun-sung, the girl he saved earlier, and she's freaking out, yelling his name. She's seriously worried. People are scrambling, climbing over each other, and Hyun-sung is desperately trying to get Doctor's attention. The crowd is a mess, but Doctor seems focused on something else, scanning the faces around him. Something's definitely up. Hyun-sung is losing it, screaming Doctor's name, while others are shouting for help. It's a total disaster. Doctor realizes something is off, but the scene is chaotic, and he's trying to figure out what's going on amidst the panic. He sprints forward, pushing through the crowd, determined to find out what's causing all the commotion. No way he's sticking around. Doctor grabs a random guy, demanding to know about Jung Hyuk-yu, but the guy's totally freaked out. Turns out everyone thinks Jung Hyuk-yu predicted this whole disaster, and apparently, he's left the station. Doctor realizes the Cheoldu group members are gone too, and something clicks. This dude is putting the pieces together. He spots the group huddled together, looking shaken, and honestly, they look like they've seen a ghost. A woman shouts that Mr. Han is missing, and the crowd erupts into chaos again. It's a total mess. Doctor is starting to understand the situation, and it's not good, bro. Something big is happening. He remembers the novel, and how Jung Hyuk-yu vanished at this exact moment. It's all starting to make sense. But wait, this is a twist. It's not just about Jung Hyuk-yu disappearing, it's about why he disappeared. Doctor knows this is a crucial moment in the story, and he's desperate to figure out what's going on. No way he'll mess this up. He's realizing that the Cheoldu group members aren't just missing. They were taken, and it's all connected. Doctor spots In Ho Cheon, the guy who orchestrated everything, and the whole group is looking at him like he's a monster. In Ho Cheon straight up introduces himself, like he's the main character, and it's so unsettling. A few days ago it's revealed that In Ho Cheon kidnapped Mr. Han and his daughter. This dude is ruthless. We see the aftermath of the kidnapping, and it's brutal. They're both clearly traumatized and being held against their will. The group stands there, looking defeated while In Ho Cheon casually pats someone on the shoulder. In-ho Cheon tries to play it cool, saying they should all play nice, since they're all survivors, but it's a total power move. Dokja realizes In-ho Cheon is the real villain, and he's been manipulating everything from the start. No way this guy is just a survivor. But here's the twist: Dokja remembers the novel, and In-ho Cheon wasn't supposed to reveal himself yet. Something is seriously different. He's remembering that In-ho Cheon always operated in the shadows, and this early reveal means his plans are changing. Dokja knows this is huge, and the story is diverging from what he read, so things are about to get way more dangerous. Someone recognizes Dokja's name, and then it drops. He has a supporting constellation. This dude's getting noticed. Everyone's realizing Dokja is a big deal, maybe even the leader of this group, which is wild. Turns out Dokja beat up the Cheoldu group pretty badly, and In-ho Cheon is already planning his revenge. Classic villain move. Dokja walks in carrying a bag of food, and the group immediately swarms him, starving for anything. They're all clamoring for the food, and honestly, it's kinda sad how desperate everyone is. But wait, the food is actually a distraction, and In-ho Cheon is using this moment to get close. In-ho Cheon is casually holding a metal pipe, and Dokja is picking up on that real quick. Like, oh, quick. The group is losing it, wondering what's happening, and Dokja is realizing In-ho Cheon is about to make things messy. In-ho Cheon is squeezing someone's hand, and everyone is freaking out. This dude is straight up terrifying. Dokja's thinking this is how it's going down, and it's a total cliffhanger, leaving us hanging. Okay, so someone drops a bomb. There are 86 people in Jumo Station and Dokja makes 87. No way! Dokja's thinking there should be way more people, but then it hits him, only those in the cabin and near the station survived. Here's the kicker. Nobody's talking about it, but everyone cleared the first scenario by killing each other. Brutal. Straight up, everyone in that station is a murderer, and the group is splitting into a major and minor faction. Things are getting political. A guy is losing it, begging for rescue, but another is reassuring everyone the government will save them. Famous last words, probably. Then this dude reveals he's the young master of the young corporation. Talk about a power move, bro. But hold up, Dokja's already figured out In-ho Cheon has been manipulating everyone since the start and is using the situation to his advantage. Our boy is realizing that the scenario isn't just about surviving, it's about how you survive, and the cost of doing so. Dokja knows the story, but it's changing, and that's terrifying. He's got to stay one step ahead of In-ho Cheon. This dude's mind is racing, piecing together the puzzle, and you can feel the tension building. It's about to go down! Dokja announces they're leaving, but then drops the news they're running low on food, so people are scavenging. We see a chaotic mess of supplies. Apparently, scavenging isn't going well, and things are desperate. Huiwon was sent to scavenge too, but Dokja asks who she even is, sparking some tension. A guy named Hyeon-sung points out Dokja didn't join the major group, and straight up assumes they wanted him. Cocky. Dokja calls him out, realizing Hyeon-sung is trying to stir things up and figure out his motives. Hyeon-sung tries to play it cool, saying Dokja just belongs with the minor group. What a load of bull. But Dokja isn't buying it, and admits he's feeling like a hypocrite for even caring about right and wrong now. Hyeon-sung taps Dokja's shoulder, and Dokja flinches. This dude is clearly spooked by something. Hyeon-sung reveals he saw Dokja at the beach before everything went down and is clearly rattled. Hyeon-sung is freaking out, admitting he never expected to meet Dokja again. This is getting juicy! Dokja drops a bomb. Even if something was unavoidable, it still happened. Heavy stuff. Suddenly, a guy steps forward, asking Dokja for a word, and the vibe instantly shifts. This dude straight up says he's getting to the point, no fluff, which is kinda unsettling. He lays it all out. Hyeon-sung saw Dokja before the scenario, and it's clearly messed him up. Okay, so things are getting wildy. Everyone's fighting over food, straight up losing it, yelling about not hogging everything. But then this mysterious guy, Yoo Jong-yuk, our boy Dokja, steps in and he's got this creepy grin. He's playing a game. He tells everyone they'll survive if they listen to him, basically demanding obedience. Talk about a power move! Someone tries to calm everyone down, claiming there's been a misunderstanding. But Dokja already has a deal with the group. This dude announces they'll collect and redistribute the food, but there's a catch. It's not for free. Seriously. He's offering to share, but it's a super shady offer, and everyone knows it. They're trapped, and he's in control. Dokja's got everyone cornered, and honestly, they look terrified, accepting his terms with no way out. And then, the scene cuts to a guy completely collapsed, looking wrecked. No way is this good. The screen flashes with letters OMN, It's a message, and it feels like a huge warning sign. Something big is coming. But the letters spell out OMN, and this dude's situation is spiraling. Whatever's happening, it's connected. Someone asks if Dokja's selling the food, and some constellations are hyped. But a secretive one straight up scoffs. Dokja drops the bomb he's not a charity worker, and everything costs coins now. No free lunch, folks! He announces 10 coins per item, and the crowd murmurs, 50 coins was already too expensive. But Dokja doubles down, declaring 10 coins the new price. Honestly, this dude is ruthless. A guy immediately offers to pay and Dokja just accepts it. It's unsettlingly easy. Dokja's handing over food, and someone's saying it was nothing, but it feels like a power play. Another constellation is observing, and it's clear they're not thrilled with Dokja's actions. Someone's handing over a stack of coins, and it looks like Dokja is consolidating power fast. The constellations are now actively plotting, and things are escalating quickly. This is bad. However, a mysterious figure is watching from the shadows, and they're definitely up to something. Okay, so Dokja's trading coins with this guy, and it's all going smoothly, until he accidentally gives 10 extra. No way! He tries to play it off, saying he wasn't thinking straight and doesn't want freebies. Smooth recovery, our boy! Dokja asks if everyone knows how to trade coins, and it's clear he's establishing himself as the shopkeeper here. The coin exchange happens. Bright flash, sparks flying, and the system confirms 20 coins were paid. It's kinda cool, honestly. But the guy's all, huh? You gave me 10 more, and Dokja just stares him down. Awkward. Everyone's watching this exchange, and a woman comments that Dokja is monopolizing all the food. Talk about a power move. Dokja's expression changes, and he's looking straight into the camera. It's super creepy and intense, bro. Someone glances at the group, agreeing that the major group is doing whatever they want. This is getting out of hand. Another guy complains no one's buying with these prices, and Dokja just says, well, he's not backing down. This dude admits Dokja gave them a discount, but it's clear Dokja is playing a long game. What is he up to? Dokja's got everyone huddled up near the subway platform, and honestly, it's a bleak scene. He tells them to get some rest, promising to keep watch. But it's a total setup, we all know it. Dokja slips away, saying he has stuff to take care of, and straight up leaves them to fend for themselves. He approaches a guy, and it's immediately clear something is OFF. The dude's face is messed up, like seriously distorted. Excuse me, says the guy, and Dokja is totally freaked out, eyes wide with shock. It's a wild reaction. He's seeing something else entirely, and it's clearly connected to the weird food situation. Dokja's mind is blown. Wow, he breathes, realizing the truth about who bought the food overnight. A woman overhears, and she's losing it, yelling about being sold out and calling everyone two-faced bastards. Dokja realizes the food wasn't bought by a major group, but by a minor group. The implications are huge. He's clutching something in his hand, a crumpled piece of paper, and it's clear this is about to get real. Okay, so everyone is losing it over only getting 3 biscuits. Can you believe the audacity? They're muttering about the search party getting way more food, and accusing someone of knowing something they don't. Dokja coolly offers they can join the search party for more, but everyone knows that's a death sentence. Someone points out only the Chioldu gang members survive those trips, and everyone is rightfully freaking out. Dokja then suggests they go scavenge for their own food. This dude is straight up ruthless. Everyone is shocked, but Dokja drops a bomb. Apparently Dokja learned a valuable lesson yesterday. He reveals the people who bought the food paid in full, and honestly, that's a huge twist. But it's a shadowy figure doing the paying, and it's super ominous, like seriously creepy vibes. Dokja's flashback shows him remembering the lessons from yesterday, and we're left wondering what's going on. No way. It looks like someone's watching Dokja, and it's clear this is about to get intense. No way. Inho Chien activates his insight skill, and it's clearly messing with everyone. He's straight up saying this is how the world works, and it's a super shady power play. The crowd is getting intense, and they thank Dokja for teaching them a lesson. That's creepy. But hold up, a sea of glowing eyes appears surrounding Dokja, and it's legitimately terrifying. These shadowy figures are closing in, and honestly, the tension is insane right now. Someone accuses Dokja of just hoarding the food again, but our boy has a plan. Dokja explains he wanted them to stand up for themselves. This dude is playing 5D chess. However, he admits it did work, because he has more coins, and that's the ultimate flex. Dokja's got everyone cornered, and it's clear he's about to pull off something huge. Okay, so things are tense. The group gathers, and their leader announces they need more people for the search party. We see a way out sign, which feels super ominous, like they're trapped, and this isn't going well. Here's the kicker: no food for anyone who doesn't join the search. Straight up withholding resources. This dude is ruthless. Someone is not happy about the food penalty, and honestly, can you blame them? This is getting dark. Then it drops: all food will be removed. No way. It's a harsh punishment, and they're really leaning into the desperation. A woman pleads with someone to not eat the biscuits, but it's looking like a trap. This is messed up. But our boy Dokja suddenly reads Inho Cheon's mind. He knows what Inho is thinking, and it's about the food penalty. Dokja's understanding of Inho increases, and it's clear this isn't just about biscuits. It's a power play. Inho suspects Dokja knew about the penalty all along, and Dokja's internal monologue confirms it. This dude is playing chess, not checkers. Dokja thinks Inho suspects him, but isn't certain. He's maintaining the upper hand, and I'm here for it. Dokja realizes TWSA definitely pulled this survival fee out of nowhere. It wasn't in the novel at all. He's starting to suspect the contract with Bahyong might be changing the story, and honestly, that's terrifying. Dokja blurts out, "Dokja?" It's a weird, almost involuntary reaction, and everyone stares. The group is debating joining the search party, but it's clear they're all feeling the pressure of the food penalty. One guy is straight up begging them to find a new food source since everything's changed, and it's a little desperate. Dokja's internal thoughts reveal he already knows what Inho's planning. He's got layers, this dude. Someone asks Dokja not to reveal any more info, but he's already figured out Inho's game. They're at the Yaksu station, and Dokja confirms that the scenario has changed, making things even more chaotic. Dokja looks completely shocked. Something big just hit him, and it's clearly bad news. But wait. Dokja's expression is intense. He's processing something huge, and this is a turning point. They're heading down this massive, industrial-looking shaft, and someone asks if they're seriously following the rails. Dokja realizes they need a team to actually finish this crazy scenario, which means relying on others. The group agrees to work together, and Inho wishes them good luck. But it feels off, like he's sizing them up. Someone else thinks Inho is acting like the leader, and Dokja agrees, but also feels relieved he's staying back. Dokja's understanding of Inho is suddenly increasing, like a lot. Something's unlocking in his brain. Whoa, Dokja's level of understanding of Inho has passed a threshold. What does that even mean? And then we get a glimpse of Inho, grinning like a total maniac. This is not good at all. Dokja's internal monologue says the level of understanding keeps increasing. It's like he's reading Inho's mind now. Bro, Dokja's internal thoughts are wild. He's piecing together Inho's entire plan, and it's terrifyingly complex. Dokja realizes Inho is straight up manipulating the scenario, and he's using them to complete it. No way! Okay, so the team is walking forward, and someone points out that the scenario maker would never let them off easy. They want to know how to finish the scenario, which is a really good question considering everyone keeps dying. Oh no. They stumble upon a gruesome scene, a body sprawled across the tracks, covered in blood. One of the guys, Sangha, totally freaks out, yelling for someone to hold his hand, but another guy calls him out on being scared. Someone else tries to brush it off, saying the guy up ahead isn't a threat. Famous last words, right? But then we find out Huiwan hasn't fully recovered, and Dokja is worried about him. Our boy actually cares. Another team member is questioning whether they should just rush ahead, because this road is seriously dangerous. Dokja's level of understanding of Inho is still skyrocketing, and it's making him realize just how messed up this whole situation is. Dokja is realizing Inho is intentionally manipulating the scenario and using them to complete it. This dude is playing 4D chess? Dokja's internal monologue confirms that Inho's plan is terrifyingly complex, and he's pulling the strings on everything. Dokja drops some serious truth bombs, saying strength isn't about gender or age, but stats, and that's all that matters. He tells Jilyoung to show them what he means, and Jilyoung nods, looking intense. Okay, Jilyoung's about to flex, and everyone's staring, including a woman who looks seriously unimpressed. Jilyoung starts sliding, like his body is dissolving into glowing particles. It's wild. His hand is glowing, and those particles are spreading across the floor. What is happening? The team is looking around, confused, and then a cockroach crawls into view, covered in the glowing stuff. Someone screams about the cockroach, and honestly, I get it. Bugs are the worst. But wait, it gets weirder. Jilyoung can communicate with the cockroach. He activated some interspecies communication skill, and the cockroach is telling him there's nothing ahead, which is either amazing or terrifying. Dokja is convinced Inho planned this whole cockroach encounter. This dude is a master manipulator. Okay, so they're walking through this creepy tunnel, and Dokja notices something's off. It's not just human corpses. The path ahead is pitch black like a solid wall, and someone points out it smells seriously awful. Suddenly, blue screens pop up for everyone, and they all get a new sub-scenario notification. No way. The sub-scenario is called Hunting for Food, and it's an E rank. Easy enough, right? Hunt and cook a monster. But hold up, they stumble upon a monster, and it's Hechuji, covered in claws and teeth, and everyone freaks out. The monster is identified as a Tier 9 subterranean ground rat, and apparently, these things hunt in packs. The info keeps coming. Ground rats are persistent hunters, and the tunnels are full of them. This is bad. Someone asks who could have done this, and honestly, it feels like Inho is behind everything, as usual. The team is surrounded by these monsters, and it's looking like this easy scenario is about to get brutal. Dokja is staring down the rat, and you can tell he's calculating everything, trying to figure out Inho's game. They're debating if killing these rats clears the scenario, but someone points out they were told to hunt. Oh. Dokja figures out they need to cook the rats, and everyone's like, how? Straight up, this is a messy scenario. Hoo-won says she's good at kendo, but quickly admits she's not that good, which is kinda relatable. Everyone grabs makeshift weapons, broken pieces of concrete, and Hoo-won's actually making a sword. They start sharpening the rocks on other rocks, because of course they do, and it's honestly kinda genius. Dokja's impressed by how quickly they're adapting, even though they were all clumsy a minute ago. He asks if they have any coins left, because the system is apparently gifting them monster parts. What is happening? Someone wonders if they're being given these parts, and Dokja's already connecting it to Inho's twisted game. But seriously, gifting monster parts. This is getting weirder and weirder. I have a bad feeling about this. Our boy is staring off into the distance, and you can tell he's piecing everything together, ready to counter Inho. Dokja's laying down the law. He knows they're all gonna get messed up, but tells them to just try and survive. He's basically saying Inho is playing a sick game with their lives, and they need to be prepared for anything. Okay, so everyone's prepping for the raid, and someone questions if Jilayong is really ready to go alone with Dokja. Someone else straight up asks if it's smart to only bring Jilayong. Apparently, she's the key to tracking the monster. Dokja explains Jilayong's ability will help them find the monster, but there's a problem, a big one. Hoo-won is in bad shape, and they're begging Dokja to take care of her while he's gone. She's clearly not doing well. Dokja and Jilayong are ready to head out, but everyone is worried about them both, especially with Hoo-won's condition. Dokja glances over at Hoo-won, and you can see he's taking everyone's concerns to heart. He's got a lot on his shoulders. They step into the damaged area, and it's just wrecked, like something huge went through there. Dokja confirms they're really going. No turning back now, even though everyone's clearly stressed. Jilayong mutters something under her breath, and Dokja is already on the move, leading the way. The place is a total disaster, but our boy and Jilayong are walking straight into it, ready to face whatever's next. They're in this place called the Darkfold, where light just vanishes. It's messed up, honestly. Jilayong takes the lead, guiding Dokja with a handhold, and she's using her interspecies communication skill. Dokja says they didn't need coins because of Jilayong, but then she lets go of his hand. Dokja's immediately suspicious, questioning why she just released his hand. Bro is not playing around. Jilayong explains she let go because the monster took Sangha and that other guy, but Dokja isn't buying it. He demands to know what she means, and Jilayong just stares back, totally unreadable. She reveals she saw when the monster grabbed them, and straight up tells him to stop. This is getting intense. Dokja is frozen, realizing Jilayong knew all along, and she's totally played him. No way. But here's the twist, she's not working it with the monster, she's trying to protect them both. She claims she didn't want to use coins because Dokja would be in danger. This whole situation is wild. Someone's been watching Dokja, and this dude is not happy about what our boy did. Straight up furious. A notification dings, and Dokja gets a bizarre achievement. The constellations of absolute good alignment frown at your evil deed. What is happening? Dokja realizes someone was watching him during the whole encounter, and he's starting to feel seriously creeped out. This guy is scary. Jilayong thinks hiding things from Dokja is a bad idea, considering how quickly he figures things out. She gets it. Dokja explains the ground rats. Creatures that hoard anything they steal in their lair, and it's a key to finding Sangha. Apparently, these rats sometimes store valuable items, but reaching their lair means navigating a maze of tunnels. Sounds fun. Jilleong admits she thought it would just be Mr. Han and her, but Sangha got dragged into this mess too. Jilleong says no, then accuses Daksha of being a liar. She's calling him out on something big. She claims if he only wanted the items, he wouldn't have saved her in the subway. It's about more than just treasure. Daksha saved her because he cared, and Jilleong finally admits it. Wow, this just got real. Jilleong squeezes Daksha's hand, telling him she believes in him. It's a surprisingly sweet moment. Suddenly, notifications ding. Apparently constellations are upset and Daksha just got gifted 200 coins. What even is happening? Jilleong thinks Daksha is still a kid, assuming he's acting mature to get what he wants, but she's dead wrong. She realizes he's actually sharp and accuses adults of taking advantage of his perceived maturity. Ouch, harsh. They're getting closer to Sangha, and the constellations are holding their breath. The tension is real. Daksha calls out Sangha's name, and she appears surrounded by glowing particles. She's definitely been through it. Sangha asks if Daksha is a god or a protagonist, and honestly, that's a good question. This dude is a mystery. Jilleong's shocked by how quickly Daksha figures things out. He's way more perceptive than she thought. Daksha straight up tells her he's neither a god nor a protagonist, but admits he's always envied them. He's just a reader who knows how the story goes, and that's terrifying for everyone involved. Daksha and Jilleong are theorizing. If they clear all the scenarios, they'll get a wish granted. Jilleong's confused, but Daksha explains that stories like these always have a reward at the end. He wonders if everyone who survives this messed up world suffers in their own way. Deep thoughts, bro. Suddenly, a creepy dude with a bandaged face appears, and Jilleong is not happy to see him. Daksha's clutching his arm, and he's glad they're in the dark because Jilleong can't see his expression. He admits he's envious of the protagonists and gods, but he's just a reader who knows the plot. That's it. Jilleong realizes Daksha isn't playing games, and acknowledges he's figured things out way too quickly. She agrees with him. Apparently, everyone is suffering in their own way, and this world is brutal. Daksha thinks about how awful the world is, and Jilleong confirms it's a nightmare for everyone involved. But wait, the bandaged guy is smiling. That's unsettling, to say the least. Okay, so Daksha decides he's living and the scenario updates. Things are getting real intense fast. Suddenly, they stumble into what's called the ground rats, treasure trove. Sounds sketchy, right? This place is covered in scratches, like something's been trapped and desperately trying to get out. The bandaged guy starts talking, saying only the ground rats store things here, but that feels like a lie. And boom, something itchy starts clawing at the walls, making this awful growling sound. No way. The creature is straight up tearing through the place, and Daksha and Jilleong are trying to avoid the wreckage. It's all shrieks and scratches now. This thing is clearly furious and super dangerous. Daksha and Jilleong are dodging attacks, but it's getting harder and harder to keep clear. The creature lunges for the treasure trove, and the scene is chaos. It's a total free-for-all. But honestly, this whole situation is screaming trap, and I have a bad feeling about this. Okay, so the bandaged guy is laying it all out. Apparently Daksha stole his bike, and that's why he's here. This dude is straight up blaming Daksha for everything, yelling about how it's all his fault. Daksha's understandably confused. He's like, wait, what does this subway have to do with my bike? The bandaged guy reveals Daksha always bikes to work, and that's why he's on the subway now. It's a wild connection. Daksha demands an answer, asking if this guy actually stole his bike. The tension is building, seriously. He tries to play it cool, saying he offered Daksha a ride home, but Daksha isn't buying it for a second. But then, the bandaged guy just admits it. He stole the bike, so what? What a chaotic confession. Suddenly, a constellation is judging Daksha, saying it despises him. Wow, talk about adding insult to injury. Another constellation is now annoyed by the petty argument. Honestly, they are so done with this drama. Daksha's had enough, and he's like, I guess it can't be helped. He's about to go off. I can feel it. Daksha's about to snap, saying he kept rejecting this guy's offer. And now he's finally admitting why? No way. The bandaged guy suddenly launches a flurry of attacks at Daksha, blades flying everywhere. Daksha's dodging like a pro, but the attacks are relentless, cutting through everything around him. He's weaving through the chaos, and honestly, it's a little impressive how fast he's moving. But the attacks keep coming, and it's clear this dude wasn't just ranting. He's seriously trying to kill Daksha. The scene is pure action, blades slicing through the air, and Daksha barely managing to avoid them. Dokja's completely surrounded, and this fight is escalating fast. Things are about to get real. Okay, so things are bad. This dude is getting absolutely wrecked, making these pain noises. Gaawetur, it's rough. No way, a massive, skeletal figure appears, all glowing eyes and sharp teeth, and it's straight up terrifying. Suddenly, a notification pops up. The Warden of the Dark has received the Demon King's blessing? What does that even mean? Black tendrils explode outwards, wrapping around everything, and our boy is caught right in the middle of it all. This dude is totally beat up, exhausted, and clearly regretting all his life choices right now. Damn it, this isn't looking good. He's trying to strategize with his team, saying he wanted to avoid this fight at all costs. But it looks like that's not happening. But a monster attacks, and honestly, this thing just leaps out of nowhere, squeaking and going for the kill. Another figure appears, standing her ground as the darkness swirls around them, preparing for a confrontation. He's staring her down, sword at the ready, and you can just feel the tension building between them. The Demon King's blessing is clearly unleashing something massive, and everything's glowing blue. It's intense. Okay, so the woman tries to guess the name, Aikido. But it's clearly not right. She shouts Kalidu, and the massive monster actually reacts, which is super creepy. The monster turns its glowing eyes towards them, and our boy is completely stunned. Someone points out she's fluent in Spanish and the demonic language. What a talent. Then, a notification pops up saying you just unlocked a level 3 interpretation skill. The monster starts speaking, and the woman interprets it's asking for a mother. Seriously? Our boy is losing it, yelling he should be the father, not a mother, and honestly, mood. The monster focuses on the woman, and its tendrils start to glow with purple energy. The monster's face is revealed, and it's giving off major, "I'm gonna hug you to death" vibes, but suddenly, it's all quiet, and the monster just stops, leaving everyone totally confused. No way, the monster launches a tendril straight for our boy, and it's moving fast. He's completely caught off guard, eyes wide with terror. This is not good, bro. The woman screams, clearly realizing what's happening, and it's straight up horrifying. The tendril wraps around him, and he's struggling, gulping for air. It's a tight squeeze. He shouts he doesn't want to give birth anytime soon, and honestly, same energy. The monster explains demonic species impregnate other species with their offspring. What? The monster focuses on the woman again, and its tendrils start glowing even brighter. What is it doing to her is the question on everyone's mind, and it's seriously creepy. Suddenly, the tendrils slash towards him, moving at impossible speeds. He's dodging, barely escaping, but it's clear this is gonna be a brutal fight. He's reeling from the attack, but manages to break free of the tendrils. Talk about a close call. The monster goes for another strike, and this dude is dodging like his life depends on it, which it totally does. He's getting slammed around, taking a beating, and shouts Dokja's name. This is intense. The monster's tendrils keep coming, and he's clearly struggling to withstand the onslaught, grunting with each hit. No way. The monster's attack connects, and he goes flying backwards, crashing into something hard. But he's not down for long, immediately pushing himself up despite the pain. Our boy is resilient. The monster's attack shatters the ground around him, and he's barely managing to stay on his feet. He tries to fight back, but the monster is just too strong, sending him tumbling again. Another tendril slams into him, and everything goes white. It looks like a direct hit. However, he's still conscious, glaring at the monster with pure determination, refusing to give up. He realizes something broke during the fight, and straight up admits the warden wasn't meant to die like that ichthyosaur. But the warden isn't backing down, and this dude thinks he has no chance of winning. Talk about a mood. He reveals his original plan was to grab the treasure after the warden left, but things clearly went sideways. The warden attacks, and he's dodging again, yelling for Dokjae to watch, but it's looking grim. What? The warden knows he's talking to Dokjae, and asks how he figured it out. He claims he's supposed to receive something in the mail, demanding the warden hand it over immediately. The warden just laughs, saying it's Beat Hyang's responsibility, not his. Total dodge. The warden opens his mouth, and honestly, that's a terrifying grin with some serious teeth. He's getting blasted with energy, and the warden's cackling like a supervillain. This is intense. But wait, the warden's expression changes to shock, and this dude is definitely hiding something big. The constellation is still berating Dokjae, and honestly, it's kinda hilarious. Dokjae agrees to help, just once, but only because this situation is getting interesting for him. An item arrives from the auction house, and it's a golden box. What could be inside? No way. He's throwing the box at the warden, intending to sell it at the Dakebi auction. The warden's shocked. He can't believe this dude knows about the auction and won't trade for anything but broken faith. He obtains broken faith and a notification pops up. This is a huge win for our boy. He's blasting energy using broken faith and things are getting seriously chaotic. The warden is getting destroyed and it's a total beatdown. Look at those energy beams. But the warden isn't going down without a fight, and he's unleashing a counterattack. Everything is crumbling around them, and it's a total mess. This fight is intense. He's swinging broken faith like a madman, blasting the warden with insane energy. This is a full-on assault. The warden tries to block, but broken faith cuts right through his defenses, shattering everything in its path. But the warden isn't backing down, unleashing a torrent of purple tentacles. Things are getting seriously chaotic. Our boy dodges and weaves, narrowly avoiding the tentacles, but they're relentless and starting to overwhelm him. The warden is laughing a terrifying, skeletal grin and mocks him for fighting with a broken sword. Rude. He's gasping for air, clearly exhausted, but this dude refuses to fall. He's got too much to lose. The warden's boasting about broken faith, being useless without a specific skill, and it's a low blow. However, a notification appears revealing broken faith is a grade D item. It's not much, but it's a start. He grips the broken sword, ready to fight, and you can see the determination in his eyes. This is epic. And straight up, this is what it means to be the only reader. He's using his knowledge to survive. No way, broken faith is too damaged to even use, straight up failing him at a terrible time. He glances around, and you can feel the tension building as he scans for any sign of hope or danger. A tiny, fluffy creature appears, looking terrified, but then the warden's monstrous face fills the panel. Talk about a mood swing. The warden's laughing and honestly, it's the most unsettling sound ever. This dude is messed up, but something's off with the warden, his face contorting in pain. Maybe our boy's attacks are getting to him. Okay, so things are intense. This guy Kim Dokja just unleashes some serious power with his sword, Broken Faith. But wait, someone Shui is getting wrecked. A constellation named the Abyssal Black Flame Dragon is straight up falling apart. The golden dude, Han Suyong's sponsor, is losing it, seeing Dokja's power firsthand and realizing something's changed. Dokja explains he added a white star weapon aura to Broken Faith, letting it absorb magic. But here's the kicker. With the sword's durability is Gyuadi, it's completely broken, no longer usable, which honestly, was kinda expected. Suyong's sponsor demands his reward, thinking Dokja owes him something for this display of power. Dokja's smooth as always, just says hold on while looking totally unfazed. This dude is playing 4D chess. Suddenly, notifications are popping up. Dokja completes a subbed scenario and gets 500 coins, easy money. And then, blue screens appear all around, like rewards are raining down, while Suyong's sponsor is left speechless. Dokja's collecting all those rewards, and the golden sponsor is just standing there, totally bewildered by everything. Okay, so Dokja straight up says he doesn't believe in killing. What? But he doesn't enjoy carelessly taking lives. He immediately admits he's lying, and honestly, we kinda knew that was coming. The sponsor is offering Dokja 7,000 coins to kill this tier 7 demon, and Dokja's like, hold my beer. But Dokja refuses, asking if the sponsor even knows what 7,000 coins is worth. This dude is playing the long game. He's ignoring the reward and just wants to open treasure chests, while shooing away the demon like it's a pest. And then Steb, Dokja just straight up eats the sword into the demon. No hesitation, no mercy. Dokja's standing over the fallen demon, looking kinda shaky, but totally unfazed. He's a stone-cold killer. Notifications are exploding. Apparently, Dokja's the first to take down a tier 7 demon, and the constellations are noticing. The demonic judge of fire is impressed, gifting Dokja 100 coins, but another constellation, the secretive plotter, is smiling wickedly. Dokja's getting showered with praise, and honestly, he's absolutely thriving in this messed up world. Okay, so Dokja just delivered the final blow, and a message pops up saying the Demon King is pissed. The Demon King, god of wrath and lust, is now hunting Dokja until he dies. No way, this is getting intense. But wait, there's more. Apparently, killing that demon made Dokja a target of the Demon King's hatred. The curse of the god of wrath and lust will make Dokja's worst nightmares come true. Ouch, that's rough. Dokja just plops into the ground, looking defeated, while the message says his nightmare is coming true. And then, a new notification appears. The secretive plotter is impressed by Dokja's evil scheme. What is happening? The sponsor is confused, but Dokja's just standing there, like he knew this would happen all along. Dokja admits he didn't finish off the demon on purpose, and honestly, that's kinda messed up. So, Daksha intentionally provoked the Demon King. This dude is playing 5D chess with the fate of the world. He says killing the demon would have attracted the Demon King's hatred, but now, he's the one being hunted. Cold-blooded. Okay, so Daksha's got this creepy grin and he's asking if they should open a treasure chest. What a maniac! A glowing purple chest appears and honestly, it looks seriously ominous, like Pandora's box. They're walking through a forest of twisted, skeletal trees, super unsettling, straight-up nightmare fuel. A woman finds something and says she's got it, while another guy looks totally lost. Poor dude. Turns out, the treasure is just a D-grade mana recovery bracelet. Talk about anticlimactic. The woman admits it's not as extravagant as she expected, and then drops a bomb the protagonist already took his share. Doctor's like, don't worry, there's still one more. This dude is playing the long game, I swear. He reaches for the chest, and it's Sealan's open. What secrets are inside? No way. Doctor's already planning ahead, knowing the protagonist took the best loot, and it's kind of brilliant. But wait, Doctor's saying there's more to come. He's got a plan, and honestly, I'm here for it. Okay, so the chest reveals a massive, cooked rat leg. Seriously, this is what it held. The others are disgusted, but Doctor's like, I think I know what this is for. Classic foreshadowing. Apparently, this gross rat leg is a key item for the current sub-scenario. What even eyes this quest? The smell is apparently amazing, and someone asks if they should even eat it. I'm with them, hard pass. But Daksha, our fearless leader, volunteers to try it first. Because of course he does, this dude is insane. He's about to take a bite, and the others are watching with a mix of horror and fascination. The tension is real. Daksha takes a bite and his face contorts. It's either amazing or utterly terrible, no in between. He starts muttering about how good it is, and the others are still skeptical. But then they notice a change. Blue light erupts from the mana recovery bracelet and the rat leg, and everyone's getting a power boost. Okay, that's kinda cool. Daksha's face is all determined. He knew this would happen, and he's ready to take on whatever comes next. Daksha's explaining that the rat leg energy will help them fight the curse. He's always 3 steps ahead. Yujin is hesitant but starts eating, and she's suddenly remembering all the foreign languages she's learned. No way. She realizes Daksha's been subtly teaching them, preparing them to understand the monsters. This dude is a genius. Daksha's practically glowing with satisfaction, proud of his team. He's a surprisingly good teacher. But wait, the chest starts pulsing with energy, and a weird, purple barrier appears. Something's definitely up. Daksha's face drops, and he straight up yells, "Damn it." He knew this would happen, didn't he? The barrier is expanding, and it looks super dangerous. They're trapped, and the situation's getting intense. Eugene's freaking out, realizing Daksha knew this was a trap, and she feels useless. Ouch, that's rough. Daksha tries to reassure her, but he's clearly hiding something. Our boy is keeping secrets again. However, Daksha insists she did help, and he's about to explain everything. Prepare for a lore dump. Daksha's dropping knowledge bombs, saying the first item found in early scenarios was the flying fox. He claims even Jungyaku, who got the Amani Brazieri, didn't know the real treasure is this black box. Talk about a power move. Daksha's laying it all out. He found a strange box and put a tier 7 demonic species monster core inside, plus broken faith. Everyone's urging him to use it, but Eugene's worried. She's not sure this is a good idea. Daksha insists it's a limited edition premium item, and honestly, he's kinda yelling about it. But the box activates, and a monster gets pulled out. It's a little ball of darkness, super creepy. Everyone's freaking out, asking what's happening, and someone shouts it was pulled from the game recently. Daksha explains if you put low-grade items in the box, it spits out something amazing. This is wild. The monster explodes in a flash of light, and everyone's shielding their eyes. What did he just unleash? Okay, so the episode starts with a huge warning about violence and strong language. Buckle up, bro. They're deep underground, and this weird energy is building. Like something massive is about to happen. Suddenly, a vibration rattles the whole place, and they realize there are high-tier monsters above ground. Oh no. But before they can even process that, a colossal insect monster bursts through the city above them. This thing is huge, like skyscraper-sized, and it's coming straight for them. No way. Jillian gets knocked down, and everyone's yelling for him to wake up, but he's just out of it. He mumbles something about Daksha, and honestly, it's a little creepy. What's going on with him? The monster crashes into the city, and it's straight up terrifying. Total chaos. This dude is seriously massive, and the speed he's moving. Insane, absolute insanity. The monster's closing in fast, and the team is scrambling. This is gonna be a rough fight for sure. Jiliang's using some crazy power, and it looks like he's disintegrating. It's intense. The monster is she, towering over the ruined city, and seriously, it's terrifying. Everyone's freaking out as debris falls around them, and the monster just keeps crashing down. Dokja is losing it, straight up telling Jiliang to stop using that ability. It's clearly dangerous. They're trying to figure out a plan, saying they need to wait for a smaller insect to appear. Someone's getting seriously injured, and it looks pretty bad. This is escalating quickly. Someone reveals they have a skill similar to Jiliang's, and honestly, that's a little sus. She's showing off her power, and it's this blinding yellow beam of energy. Whoa! Dokja is absolutely furious, telling her not to use it until he says so. Our boy is losing control. However, they're starting to realize they've stumbled into something way bigger than they thought. Dokja's trying to figure out what's going on, but she blurts out she made an extra contract with Starstream. It's a pledge that prevents her from revealing her personal attribute, whatever that is. Dokja is immediately suspicious and demands she tell him, but she's hesitant and worried. He's practically ordering her to spill, and honestly, this is getting intense. She finally admits she doesn't trust him, but he insists she shouldn't reveal it to anyone. He's explaining it's for her safety, but she's clearly freaked out about the whole situation. Dokja tries to use his character profile skill, hoping to get some info on her, but it fails. No profile exists, which is seriously strange. This girl is a total mystery. He tries again, the skill activating, but it's currently collecting information, taking its sweet time. And then boom, the profile finally appears, but it's all scrambled and unreadable. No way! Dokja's channel gets cut off midstream, and he's furious. Someone messed with his connection. Yu Jung-yeok starts laughing maniacally, and honestly, it's a little unsettling. Suddenly, a fluffy, horned creature appears, blinking and asking if everyone's been well. This little guy claims to be using Dakebi communication, but only Jung-yeok can understand him. The creature reveals it's a violation of the rules to use this skill on an incarnation like itself. Talk about a complication? Dokja asks if Jung-yeok was recalled because of Ahem, and bro, the tension is thick. Jung-yeok admits the management warned him for cutting the stream and letting the ad run too long. But he's playing coy. He can't quite say it isn't related to Dokja. We see the group walking down a long, metallic hallway, the little creature floating along. And get this. Yu Jung-yeok is straight up devouring a huge drumstick, while Dokja stares in disbelief. The little creature asks how Dokja knew about the random item box, and our boy is mortified. Apparently it's a remnant of his super embarrassing past. Dokja's thinking about his past mistakes, and it sounds like he did something greedy to get this item box. Jung-yeok asks if the ridiculous item box even exists because of this little guy, and it totally does. Dokja's regretting his past self, straight up admitting he was too greedy back then. Ouch. A woman, Hyeon-song Lee, points out Dokja has a lot of new items, not just the mana brazier, and he just says, well, yes. Dokja puffs out a cloud of smoke, and then, no way, a ton of items just appear around him. He's holding up a shield, and it's sparkling like crazy. This dude is loaded with loot. Hyeon-song Lee is totally staring wide-eyed at the shield in Dokja, and it's kinda creepy. A notification pops up. Hyeon-song Lee is showing some loyalty towards Dokja. What is happening? Dokja's got a serious "It's mine" vibe going on. He's claiming something important, and it's intense. Yu Jung-yeok is complaining about someone being a cheapskate, and honestly, he's not wrong. Dokja claims he has excellent survival skills and insists he got his stuff back. Smooth talker. The group walks into a room full of people, and they're all murmuring and looking super agitated. Everyone seems a little on edge, whispering amongst themselves. Something's definitely up. A notification pops up 20 minutes until checkout, and they need to have their survival fee ready. Yikes. No way. A man's coins are being withdrawn right before our eyes, and he's freaking out. The system explains they'll take 100 coins daily as a survival fee, and you die if you can't pay. Brutal. The survival fee continues until they clear the second scenario, so they're stuck paying until then. Someone's begging for coins because their child can't afford the fee. This is getting seriously stressful. Dokja straight up demands to know where his sister is, and then casually adds she owes him coins. What a bro! Everyone's reacting to this, but In-ho Cheon jumps in, questioning if she actually volunteered and asking for proof. This dude In-ho Cheon is a menace. He's straight up goading them, suggesting Dokja volunteer instead. Dokja's losing it, clenched fists and a red face, but then a notification pops up about his attribute blossoming. Yu Jung-yeok is yelling about those bastards, and it's clear things are escalating fast. Dacha suddenly remembers coins are power in this world, and then someone calls out his name. It's a total setup. In Ho Chien asks about how many coins someone has, and the crowd starts to close in. Super creepy vibes. No way. In Ho Chien activated a skill called Insight, and he's clearly manipulating everyone here. He's reveling in the chaos, saying he's the one in control. This dude is seriously unhinged. And to top it all off, another notification confirms that In Ho Chien's inciting skill is level 2. Oh no. Chaos erupts as people start grabbing at Daksha, begging him for coins. It's a total free for all. A woman screams at Daksha, demanding help, while another asks if he's the one they've been waiting for. Daksha's cornered, but he's strangely calm and straight up asks if they think he's some kind of savior. Min Sang-han is getting absolutely wrecked by a group of guys, straight up cornered and terrified. He's desperately trying to defend himself with a knife, but these guys are way too strong. It's a brutal beatdown. Suddenly, someone shouts at Min Sang, asking if he's blaming them for this whole mess. Harsh! Our boy is looking at Min Sang's stats, level 8 stamina, strength and agility. That's pretty high for a common gangster. He realizes someone boosted Min Sang's stats, thinking they could overpower him, but it's a bold move. Min Sang is getting absolutely demolished again, flinching from every hit. It's intense and chaotic. Someone yells at Min Sang that he's only acting tough because he's scared of these guys. Ouch, low blow. They're laying into him, insisting he knows what's wrong and that their lives are on the line. No mercy. They're making it clear that these attackers are stronger, and Min Sang can't win this fight alone. Rough situation. But Min Sang is stubbornly refusing to back down, even though he's clearly outmatched. This dude has guts. I'll give him that. They're questioning how Min Sang got so many coins, but he just laughs it off. It's kinda unsettling. The system warns that the incarnations around him are getting agitated. Things are about to pop off. Someone points out there are only about 50 people here, and Min Sang realizes something seriously wrong. He challenges their assumption that these guys are just gangsters, and the crowd is getting restless. Min Sang calls them idiots for not thinking for themselves, and asks why none of the Chioldu gang have died. This dude is straight up accusing them of manipulating the situation, and the tension is THEK. The constellation, some powerful entity, apparently agrees with Min Sang's reasoning. No way! He reveals they already said it earlier, hinting at a hidden truth and leaving everyone stunned. Min Sang is dropping bombshells, but the others are still stuck on the coin thing. So frustrating. But the system is updating, and it's clear Min Sang's plan is working. This is gonna be good. Someone yells for help, and Min Sang suddenly attacks. It's a total ambush. He's taking down these guys one by one, but they're swarming him, and it's chaos. This dude grabs a metal bar, and it looks like he's about to swing it at Min Sang's head. No. Min Sang dodges, but another guy rushes in with a blade, and everything happens so fast. He's fighting like a pro, but the numbers are just too much. Our boy is getting overwhelmed. One of the attackers shouts, demanding to know what Min Sang did. The nerve. Another guy asks how he could possibly know about the coins. They're getting desperate. Min Sang just keeps fighting, using everything he's got, but it's a brutal struggle. Someone cries out in pain, and another screams in oh. This is getting seriously intense. But wait, Min Sang is now the one holding a weapon, and he's about to strike. Game changer! Min Sang stands defiant, declaring this fight is just the beginning. No way he's backing down now. The attackers completely lose it, screaming at Min Sang and demanding to know what he's done. One guy tries swinging a hammer, but Min Sang deflects it with a blade, and things explode into brutal chaos. He's slicing and dicing, straight up mowing down the attackers. It's intense, but effective. Another attacker shouts for his mommy, as Min Sang continues his relentless assault, and honestly, this dude had it coming. Min Sang orders someone named Daeyong to hold something, barking orders like a total boss. He's taking charge. A man rushes forward trying to grab Min Sang but gets quickly neutralized. Min Sang is a whirlwind of violence. More attackers swarm him, but he's a machine slicing through them with terrifying precision. It's insane. Someone screams in pain, and another begs for their mother. This is getting seriously brutal and disturbing. Min Sang is covered in blood, but still fighting, and you can tell this is just a taste of what's to come. This dude straight up yells DE, and lunges with a bat at someone, but our boy Min Sang activates some kind of energy shield. The bat shatters against the shield, and Min Sang unleashes a barrage of energy blades. It's a total power move. Min Sang slices through the attackers, and someone screams in agony. This is getting seriously brutal. He's deflecting attacks left and right, covered in blood, but still pushing forward, a total beast in combat. Someone cries out for help, but Minsang just keeps attacking, no mercy from this guy. Another attacker goes down and Minsang's face is stone cold. He's completely focused on the fight. But wait, a guy grabs another from behind, using him as a shield against Minsang's blades. Low blow! Minsang doesn't even flinch, slicing right through both of them. It's a grim scene, honestly. He turns to the remaining attacker and drops a line. I told you I was gonna get you, didn't I? Chilling. The attacker stares back, completely broken. Minsang just dismantled him and his friend, no doubt about it. Okay, so Minsang is getting seriously leveled up. His attribute is blossoming, whatever that means. Everything goes dark, and then this ghostly figure appears, looking all brooding and mysterious. The figure's eyes snap open, glowing red, and honestly, it's terrifying. Minsang's attribute blossoms into Judge of Evil, a heroic title but super ominous. A massive, ornate symbol appears above him, radiating power. It's a total game changer. The symbol unleashes a wave of energy, and the whole place starts falling apart. No way! Minsang standing amidst the chaos, looking down with those intense red eyes. Someone shouts that Judge of Evil is the most powerful of the three judges. Huge reveal! Minsang's power is blossoming, and he's ready to take on anything. This is insane. He's become a true Judge of Evil, and honestly, the bad guys should be scared right now. Okay, so things are shady and UP. Minsang's got this intense look and declares someone is mine. A notification pops up, Huanzhong will FHT for you. Bro, this dude is serious. Minsang gets clocked in the face, blood starts flowing, but he doesn't even flinch. Total savage. The energy around him is going wild, like a storm brewing. It's a visual overload. Another notification, Huanzhong activates Time of Judgment. A personal skill, whatever that is. This ornate, glowing weapon materializes around him, like something out of a myth. It's beautiful and terrifying. Minsang's posture changes, he's practically radiating power, and looks down on everyone, straight up intimidating. He's stepping forward, and the whole room feels like it's shrinking. This is about to get messy. Close up on the weapon, and honestly, it looks like it could slice through reality itself. No way. Okay, so things are looking rough. The survivors are huddled at Jumo Station, but it's totally trashed after last night. The sky is wild with these glowing particles, like a digital snowstorm, which is not a good sign, honestly. Someone just got wrecked. There's a shoe and a weapon on the floor amidst a ton of broken tiles. It's a total mess. The group decides to split up and go their separate ways, figuring a few coins are better than nothing. They think because they survived last night, they can handle anything. But that's a bold assumption, bro. Everyone's gearing up to leave, and it's super tense. You can feel the weight of what happened. Should they go? They're questioning it, and honestly, staying put seems like the smarter move. But then, plot twist, Myungo Han just vanishes into thin air, straight up disappears without a trace. They're all left wondering what happened, and honestly, this dude had it coming. No way the story just ends with him gone. Talk about a cliffhanger, this is insane! Doc is handing out coins to everyone. He earned a ton last night, apparently, and is being generous. He gives Yu Jungyeok his share, and Yu Jungyeok's all confused about why. Doc just straight up says he earned the most coins, so everyone deserves a cut, which is nice. But then, Myungo Han just smacks Dokja. Talk about a power move. It's a total surprise attack. Myungo hands all high and mighty, saying he wouldn't have done that, but Dokja's not backing down. Dokja's getting beat up, but a notification pops up. A constellation is actually happy about this? Someone yells at Myungo Han to stop smiling, and the scene cuts to a weird blue screen. Myungo Han demands the coins, and the little fluffball is looking seriously ticked off. The fluffball's like, I was hoping you'd forget, and honestly that's a little ominous. Dokja is clearly not pleased with Myungo Han, and the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Dokja's been spending all his earned coins to boost his stats, stamina, strength, agility, and mana, and he's leveling up fast. He's really pushing his limits, saying he needs to increase Byung's channel and draw in more constellations. Our boy takes a step forward, and the scene shifts. It's like they're moving to a new location. A notification pops up, the second main scenario is activated, and everyone's getting a blue light show. The new scenario is called The Encounter, and it's a pretty easy difficulty, rank, no time limit, but the rewards are 500 coins. The clear conditions are to get through a tunnel and meet with the survivor from the first shelter zone. Simple enough. However, there's a penalty for failure, and it's marked as, which is seriously stressing me out. The next main shelter zone is Chungmoro, and they're looking at a map of the subway system to figure out where to go. Their current location is marked, and it looks like they need to head towards Chungmuro Station. It's a long ride. And just like that, the next stage is Chungmuro Station. Let's see what this tunnel holds. They're all exhausted, straight up, questioning why there are so many monsters underground. This dude thought Chungmuro would be easy to reach, but the tunnel is infested with ground rats and worse. They've been fighting nonstop, and everyone's tired, but Dokja's already scoping out the area for anything useful. They find a room that looks abandoned in a hurry, and it's full of bodies, definitely not from rat bites. Looking at the wounds, it's clear Jung Yeok-yu is the one responsible for this massacre. No way. Dokja realizes monsters aren't the only thing they need to worry about in this world. It's a grim realization. He tells everyone he'll search for supplies, and thankfully someone from the army is there to help him out. Someone asks what they should do next, and honestly, the suspense is killing me. They're at Dongguk University, and it's a pretty ominous sign of things to come, bro. Dokja glances at the university sign, like he knows something we don't, and he totally does. Someone RELOI needs to use the bathroom, and honestly, mood. Dokja's got a plan. He suggests Dongguk University as a resting spot, but it's clearly a trap. He explains he read about this spot in the novel, and it's straight up a setup for something bad. Turns out, the tiredness everyone feels isn't just fatigue. Something is actively weakening them. Dokja gets a system message: poisonous fog. This dude is always one step ahead. He sprints forward, trying to escape the fog, but it's closing in fast. The fog is messing with his vision, and it's clear he's running towards something dangerous. Dokja's determined to reach the university, even as the fog intensifies around him. The ground starts cracking beneath his feet, and whatever is causing this is not natural. Everything's breaking apart, and this is a seriously bad omen. Bro, this is gonna be intense. Dokja finally reaches the statue of the great monk Samyong. It's a Haji landmark, apparently. He's looking at this massive monument covered in carvings, and a constellation is watching him, hyped for what he'll do. Someone says the monk was on a pilgrimage, but Dokja just starts praying, and another constellation is Steer AIGH2P delighted. No way, a message pops up from BI7623 Channel Master B Brother Server Korea. This is getting wild. Everyone is confused by the message, wondering what Dokja is up to, and honestly, good question. Dokja's eyes glow, and he's clearly activating something, making a deal with someone. This is intense. A fluffy, horned creature appears, looking totally bewildered. What even is that thing? The creature asks, huh, as if to say, wait, what's happening? And honestly, same energy. Dokja's making a contract with this constellation, and it's a risky move, but our boy is going for it. But there's a catch. The constellation wants something in return, and Dokja looks determined to give it. Dokja's blade slices through the air, aiming right for the fluffy constellation. But it's faster than anyone expects. The creature yells, completely shocked as the blade nearly connects. It definitely didn't see that coming. Dokja's sword cuts through the space where the creature was, and honestly, it's a terrifying display of power. A huge blue explosion erupts, and the creature's essence scatters. This dude just obliterated it. The power surges through Dokja, and he shouts, "You're A." It's a total energy release. A single glowing feather floats down, a remnant of the constellation. This whole situation is wild. Okay, so they just got hit with a sub-scenario illusory prison. Sounds like fun, right? It's a DF difficulty, 1 hour to escape, 300 coins if they win. The scenario immediately kicks off, and it's not a gentle start. Straight up, they're all thrown around by some crazy force. Everyone is getting tossed around like ragdolls, and it's making them seriously sick. No one expected this level of impact. This dude is getting slammed into something hard, and he's clearly not enjoying the ride. Ouch, that looked painful. Another person gets flung, and honestly, they look completely out of it, like they're about to pass out. More chaos! Someone else is launched, and it's a total mess of flailing limbs and panicked screams. It's brutal. One of the group is down, completely disoriented, yelling about feeling awful, but they don't have time to worry about that now. Bodies are flying everywhere, and it's a whirlwind of blue energy and sheer panic. This prison isn't messing around. The force finally stops, leaving everyone sprawled on the floor, completely wrecked. But the real question is, where are they now? Everything goes black, like completely dark. No way, that's good. They're officially trapped, and the clock is ticking. Okay, so everything's still black, but someone, we don't know who, says Dokja, like he's checking if he's still there. A face appears in the darkness, looking totally messed up, and mutters Dokja again, but it's creepy AF. Someone else is yelling that something doesn't feel right, desperately calling for Dokja. Things are escalating fast. This woman is practically on Dokja face to face, and she's saying he hasn't seen anything yet. What is going on? Dokja looks completely freaked out, a single tear rolling down his face, and he says, I see. But see what? Suddenly, a blue screen pops up, announcing that Dokja's fourth wall skill is activated. No way, he's breaking the story? Another screen appears. Dokja is now immune to the illusory prison thanks to that skill. He's hacking the scenario. Everything explodes with light and energy as Dokja breaks free, and a FLSH appears everywhere. This is insane. Dokja stands there, looking powerful, as the scenario around him starts to unravel. Our boy is straight up a cheat code. The woman who was up in his face is now completely distorted, and Dokja just stares her down. This is getting wilder by the second. This zone is straight up a mental torture chamber. It triggers your deepest traumas to drive you insane. This messed up woman lunges at someone, and a man screams for his mom. It's a total breakdown. But Dokja's mental fortitude is OFT cards, so a constellation rewards him with 100 coins. Another constellation is sad they couldn't dig into Dokja's past. What secrets is our boy hiding? The woman attacks again, but Dokja is already moving, dodging her blade with insane speed. This dude is losing it, yelling insults and begging for his mom, and honestly, this dude had it coming. Dokja shouts he was too late, but then he grabs someone's hand, a glimmer of hope in his eyes. He's clutching a backpack and asks Dokja, is this a rescue or something even weirder? A close-up shows the woman's hand, covered in a strange pink energy. It's like she's the source of the trauma. We see a wider shot. A woman with a sword is ready to fight, while another is down on the ground. The battle is on. The woman pleads with Dokja to protect her while he destroys this zone. She's clearly messed up. Dokja agrees and starts moving forward, but the zone's pink energy is everywhere, like a nightmare. He takes a step and the energy flares up, almost blinding. This is intense. Dokja announces, here I go, and just barrels forward, facing the madness head on. He's pushing through the pink haze, and we see a flash of blue in his eyes. What's happening? A system message pops up, personal skill Dispel Evil LV1 activated. No way, he's got a power up. Dokja's eyes are glowing blue now, and a massive wave of energy erupts from him. It's a total explosion. The pink energy is getting shredded, blasted away by the blue. It's a beautiful, destructive sight. We see Dokja in the center of the blast, then the woman falling back. He's obliterating everything. The screen goes black, then fades to show the zone being completely purified. Our boy just saved the day. Soldiers are gripping hands, a solemn vow passing between them. They're ready to fight for their country. Their commander delivers a booming speech about duty and service, rallying the troops with fierce patriotism. Suddenly, a woman cries out, Hyeonsong, and someone collapses, clutching their side. It's chaos. The commander yells for everyone to hold it together, but the entire area is shaking violently. The scene shifts to a massive, ominous structure cracking and breaking apart around them. This place is falling apart. We see the woman kneeling over the injured man, Gilayong, desperately trying to help him. Dokja, looking determined, strides forward, sword drawn, ready to protect everyone, but the structure is crumbling. Someone shouts in panic, and Dokja's eyes widen with realization. Something is terribly wrong. Another soldier attacks, swinging at Dokja, and honestly, this dude had it coming. Dokja's face is a mask of intense focus and determination. He's not backing down from this fight. Dokja slaps the specter so hard it sends a shockwave. No way, that was brutal. He's telling Sangha to take care of Huiwan, then drops to the ground. Something big just happened. Dokja gets a notification, sub-scenario complete plus 300 coins. That's a nice little bonus. He's warning Sangha to stay alert while drawing his sword. The fight isn't over yet, clearly. A massive, purple entity explodes into being, engulfing the whole space. It's seriously terrifying. The specter isn't done, it's reforming and getting even bigger. This is bad, really bad. Dokja plunges his sword into the specter, but it barely makes a dent. This enemy is on another level. Gilayong groans in pain, begging for privacy. Talk about bad timing, dude is whore. A soldier, Hyeonsong, screams he's reporting for duty, but his face is a mess. What is going on? Hyeonsong is absolutely losing it, babbling incoherently. This is a full-blown crisis. Dokja wakes up, totally disoriented, asking what happened and if everyone's okay. He's been out cold. Someone hands Dokja a Spectre Spirit Stone, a rare item from the defeated specters, apparently. Sangha explains they defeated everything, so it should be safe, but Hyeonsong interrupts with a panicked "W-chate." They're asking Dokja if he did all this with just Sangha, but he insists it was mostly his doing. Our boy is humble. Dokja's trying to downplay it, saying it's nothing, but he's clearly struggling to stay upright. Sangha is seriously concerned, asking Jilayong if he needs to rest, but he's stubbornly refusing. Hoo-won suddenly wobbles and nearly falls. Something's wrong with him, and it's not just exhaustion. Hoo-won clutches his head, saying it hurts, and honestly, that's a Hachi red flag. Jilayong's looking at Hoo-won, and you can tell he's picking up on something seriously off with him. Hoo-won is clearly in pain, but he's trying to hide it, and it's stressing everyone out. What's going on with him? Jilayong suddenly grabs Dokja's shoulder, and it's super forceful. No time for pleasantries? Okay, so our boy and the crew are heading into the third main scenario, and it's at Chungmuro Station. They arrive at the station, but it's totally deserted, super eerie, and a little too quiet, if you ask me. Suddenly, the system announces the start of the scenario, and some live channels are opening up. The team is definitely feeling the bad vibes, and someone straight up says this place is creepy. A random guy rushes up, yelling about newbies, and honestly, this dude had it coming. He calls out Little Samurai, and it's clear this isn't a friendly greeting. Something's about to go down. The guy keeps talking trash and the team looks tense, ready for a fight. But it's a trap. No way. A woman pulls a knife, ambushing them, and the situation escalates fast. It's a full-on attack, and the team is scrambling, trying to figure out what's happening. Our boy is clearly assessing the situation, trying to use his knowledge to survive this ambush. Someone's been hitting the bottle again. Our boy gets grilled about drinking, and the guy's totally slurring his words. He brags about knowing people from Dongguk University, trying to flex on everyone, but it's kinda sad. The drunk keeps rambling, and this dude's about to get a reality check. It's getting tense. A woman asks for a room, but the drunk just laughs it off, thinking she doesn't know how things work. He tells her to quit protesting, and our boy straight up threatens him if he values his life. Our boy unsheaths his sword. It's a swift, decisive move, and everyone's shocked. He declares they're on their own from now on, refusing to babysit anyone, and honestly, good for him. Someone mutters about how rude he is, but another asks if it would hurt to be polite. The drama. And then, just like that, our boy turns and walks away, leaving everyone speechless. He's officially off duty, and the woman looks completely lost. What's going to happen now? Everyone's questioning if Junjiokyu is here too, and it's clear they're all on edge. This group is moving fast, but someone's got a seriously damaged arm. Ouch! A close-up reveals the intensity in Junjiokyu's eyes. This dude is focused. Someone reaches for Junjiokyu, and he just stares them down, totally unbothered. We get a glimpse of that backpack, and it's definitely seen better days. A woman demands to know who he is, and Junjiokyu just gives her a cold look. He cracks his sword, revealing a hidden number. No way is he marking people. Someone notes he's already done a number on her, and it's straight up creepy. They explain Junjiokyu is a rare constellation, the god of naval warfare. Powerful. This dude says if he were in Yu's shoes, he'd find her immediately, and declares he's Yu's companion. Someone asks where Master is, but another voice says he isn't around right now. Something's up. A message for Master arrives, and the guy receiving it looks seriously stressed, like it's bad news. Junjiokyu suddenly appears, yelling at someone. Talk about making an entrance? He tells them to keep an eye on the others while he goes to find Master. No time to waste. Everyone's confused about who these new people are, and honestly, so are we. One of the guys gasps, clearly recognizing something, or someone is wrong. They ask if these are Jungyokyu's friends, and he replies with a creepy smile. He calls them very good friends, and there's a weird, sparkly aura around them. Okay, that's unsettling. The group stands there, looking intense, and it's clear something major is about to go down. Jungyokyu's smiling, and it's not a good smile. This dude is planning something big. Okay, so someone's recounting how Junjiokyu became leader of their group. It's a wild story. Apparently, he wasn't a follower at first, but a pack of monsters changed everything. This guy's yawning, totally bored, but the storyteller's laying it on thick. The storyteller clarifies Yu didn't save anyone out of the goodness of his heart. It was pure luck. He says Yu just happened to be near someone named Ji-hai when things went down. Someone asks how they get food, and it's complicated. A little embarrassing, even. Turns out a bunch of people rely on Ji-hai to hunt monsters, then Yu cooks them. No way! Someone tells them they don't need to take notes on that, like it's a regular thing. But wait, this dude doesn't know any of this. He's completely out of the loop. The storyteller explains it's simple. Yu didn't save him because he was a good man. Okay, so someone asks if they came looking for a room, and things get weird fast. Turns out these guys are landlords, and the rooms are something else entirely. Our boy realizes this is getting serious. Apparently, their leader controls all of Chungmuro. Someone's questioning what's going on. And honestly, same. What is this room situation? Then, bam, a fight breaks out right in front of them. Totally out of nowhere. There's this green zone appearing on the floor, and it looks like a battle arena or something. The fight is intense, and it's clear the landlords aren't messing around. This is straight up brutal. Someone yells about Green Zone Oba 2, like this is some kind of twisted game show. And why are these people fighting? It's a total mystery, but our boy is trying to figure it out. This dude's starting to connect the dots. He knows this story, and things are about to get real. Someone asks about the areas controlled by the Landlord Coalition, and this guy gives a vague answer. You'll find out soon enough. Rude. They're grilling him about control from the 3rd to the 1st basement levels, and he admits the coalition mostly has a monopoly. Then someone brings up Jung Hyok-yu, and everyone goes silent. Apparently, he's a big deal. Wait, someone thought Yu saved them. But it turns out he just told them to come after someone else. Cold. This dude's looking at the guy who spoke, and straight up says that's typical. He's seen this before. Now we see the guy Yu sent after, and he's looming over someone who's clearly terrified. No way this is good. Our boy is starting to piece everything together, and it's hitting him hard. He knows this story, and it's not pretty. He realizes Yu is playing everyone, and honestly, it's a brilliant messed up plan. Okay, so they're rushing through this abandoned place, and a massive machine starts swinging. It's chaos. Dokja's telling Senga to watch over Huiwan, like he's sending her on a super important mission. But wait, some sketchy dude with a bat shows up, eyeing Huiwan and demanding a toll to pass through his land. This dude straight up asks for 500 coins, which is insane, but Dokja isn't having it. Dokja calls him out, saying it's highway robbery, and honestly, he's 100% right. Dokja turns his back, looking all imposing with his coat flowing. He's about to handle this. He declares that these scumbags have been running wild for too long, and it's time for a change. Dokja's got a sword hidden under his coat, and he's not afraid to use it, which is amazing. Our boy is totally ready to shut this guy down, and he looks incredibly menacing doing it. But it seems like this is just the beginning, because there are even more sketchy people lurking around. Whoa, things get dark. We get a glimpse of Pil Dugong, and he looks seriously unhinged, surrounded by creepy red eyes. Pil Dugong is one of the 10 evils, which is not great. Straight up a major villain, apparently. They're inside Chungmuro Station, but it's been taken over. It's now Pil Dugong's green zone. These landlords used to run Chungmuro, but now they're just pawns in Pil Dugong's game, which is messed up. This guy Jinchil Kim is a landlord with some impressive stats, stamina 9, but he's under Pil Dugong's control. Dokja demands to know why they're collecting coins, and this guy starts rambling about how Chungmuro isn't public anymore. But not anymore, this dude says with a terrifying grin. Pil Dugong has completely changed things. He tells them they have to pay Pil Dugong in person, and Huiwan is like, a bew hat? She's not having it. Suddenly, the guy realizes Dokja isn't Pil Dugong, a huge mistake, because our boy is not messing around. The guy's looking at a screen showing Jinchil Kim's stats, and it's clear this is a way bigger situation than anyone realized. Okay, so these guys are demanding to know where Mr. Gong is, but Huiwan Efley and HES. She clearly knows something's up. Suddenly, a robotic voice announces they've trespassed on private property, and then a massive, red machine descends. This thing is huge, and it's coming straight for them. No way they can outrun this? But Dokja's unfazed, calmly pointing out that they're looking for Pil Dugong, and it's like he's expecting this. And honestly, this dude has a point. Pil Dugong is sitting right there, reading a fishing magazine. Pil Dugong is so chill, barely glancing up as he threatens to kill anyone who takes another step. He's completely relaxed, flipping through fishing life. This guy is seriously unbothered by the chaos. Dokja's smirking now, realizing exactly what kind of opponent they're dealing with. A total psychopath. Pil Dugong's stats are popping up, and they're insane. This dude is on another level. He warns them to collect their coins, but it's clearly a trap, and Dokja knows it. This is gonna get messy. Pil Dugong straight up asks what business they have with him, not even pretending to be surprised. Dokja says it's not about paying him, but Pil Dugong's stats are popping off. This guy is a monster. Everyone realizes Pil Dugong is about to become one of the 10 evils, and his mana is already level 19. Pil Dugong's profile reveals he's the leader of a landlord coalition, a rare and powerful attribute. He's got skills like a private property and patience, optimized for fighting huge groups of enemies. The profile warns everyone not to make enemies with him, and honestly, good advice. Peel Dugong casually points out he already has 2 personal attributes, and his mana is insane. He's so calm, and Doctor's starting to see just how dangerous this dude really is. Peel Dugong taps the table, and then warns them not to get cocky. He's not playing around. But Dokja isn't scared, he's sharp and knows exactly what Peel Dugong is capable of. Peel Dugong lays down the law, no free stays in his green zone, unless they cough up 500 coins daily. Someone pleads for them to stay, but Peel Dugong is straight up ruthless, no exceptions. Dokja steps forward, and this dude is radiating confidence, like he's already won. He asks what a tenant even wants from a landlord, a total power move honestly. Peel Dugong's laying out his terms, and his posture is just menacing. But Dokja isn't backing down. He's got a plan and he's about to reveal it. He starts explaining his scenario, and Peel Dugong is visibly confused. This is good. Dokja says he knows Peel Dugong's future, that he'll become one of the 10 evils, and Peel Dugong is shocked. Peel Dugong demands to know how Dokja knows, and it's clear he's starting to sweat. Dokja drops the bomb. He's read the novel, he knows everything, and Peel Dugong is not pleased. Dokja doesn't even flinch, straight up telling Peel Jungyok is a companion, someone he's been through hell with. Pildu's crew is getting antsy, questioning why Dokja knows their boss, and things are about to blow up. Suddenly, Pildu's men are yelling bullseye. It looks like someone's been spying on Dokja with a phone. Pildu asks what Dokja is up to, and our boy is playing it cool, like he's got everything under control. Dokja lays it all out. He knows Pildu's going to become a major villain, and he's betting Pildu will listen. Pildu scoffs, saying they've gone through life and death alone, but Dokja has a counter. The others question if alone really means alone, and Pildu admits Jungik is just a close friend. Pildu delivers a chilling line. Even if Dokja is wrong, what does he have to lose, right? And then, bam, Pildu activates his calculate profit skill, surrounded by a digital storm. This dude is serious about money. Pildu thinks Dokja is trying to con him, but Dokja just straight up tells him not to underestimate him. Someone in the room looks shocked. They're clearly starting to realize Dokja knows way more than he lets on. Dokja lays out a deal information for money, and Pildu casually says it's his loss if he doesn't take it. Dokja declares he's taken the bait, and is about to gain the upper hand. This dude is playing 5D chess. Pildu demands to know where Dokja thinks he's going, reminding him that payment is still due. Pildu's man is losing it, clearly realizing something is off, and honestly, he should have seen this coming. Pildu's losing his cool, but Dokja's unfazed, because our boy knows exactly what's about to happen. Jungyu Yukyu is straight up ecstatic about having a companion, but things are already feeling off. He greets someone, a very unimpressed looking guy, but the vibe is totally awkward and one-sided. Yu's all smiles, acting like everything is cool, but this dude is radiating pure menace. A close-up on Yu's eyes shows just how intense he is. This is not a friendly meeting, not at all. Yu announces that the guy managed to survive, but it's delivered like a threat, not a compliment. We find out Yu never acknowledged him as a companion, which is a serious burn and a huge power move. Instead of words, Yu answers by pointing his blade at Peel Dugong, immediately escalating things. Peel Dugong doesn't want to fight, so he surprisingly lets them go for now, which is weird. Someone finally asked the question we're all thinking, did Yu even want him to live? Talk about a loaded question? And honestly, the tension in this scene is insane, and we know Yu is playing a long game. Yu's thinking about punching Peel Dugong's jaw, but his stats are seriously off the charts right now. Someone asks what Yu's staring at, and it triggers a whole info dump about Peel Dugong. The system tries to give a summary of Peel Dugong, but there's way too much info, so it opens the full profile. We get a character sheet: 28 years old, mythical attribute, level 8 skills in combat and weapons. This dude is no joke. Peel Dugong's stats are insane, but Yu's internal monologue reveals he might be even stronger than before. Yu asks if Peel Dugong had something else to say, and honestly, the pressure is building with every line. Peel Dugong's response is pure sass. He was admiring Yu's ugly mug, and it's straight up hilarious. Yu thinks Peel Dugong is as determined as he remembers, but Peel Dugong's internal monologue is savage, determined, my ass. Peel Dugong is calling Yu an emo bastard, and our boy is clearly unbothered. He's playing 4D chess here. Yu is just so calm, it's creepy, and it's clear he's got a plan within a plan within a plan. Yu's joking about turning frowns upside down, but a constellation is straight up disappointed in him. No way. Everyone's freaking out over Hyun-song, but Yu's already figured out she's with someone else. Pil Dugong is casually strolling in with the crew, and he's asking where Yu's new friends are. Pil Dugong sees the group and comments on their weakness, honestly so rude. Yu activates Eye of the Sage level 8, and his eye is Gilabunji. Things are about to get intense. He remembers leaving Hyun-song with someone, and the scene flashes back to that moment. Pil Dugong is looking at Yu, and this dude is now impressed with what he sees. Yu's like, what? Why? And honestly, he's playing it cool, but we know he's calculating. Pil Dugong thinks Yu is weak, but Yu is about to show him just how wrong he is. Yu's eye is radiating power. No way Pil Dugong expected Tiat, and the tension is unreal. Yu's internal monologue is Build. He's contemplating killing Junjiokyu straight up, no hesitation. He lunges with a knife, but Pil Dugong intercepts, and it's a blur of motion. Talk about reflexes. Pil Dugong disarms Yu with ease, then casually asks why he's leaving Hyun-song alone. The nerve of this guy! Yu tries to play it off, but Pil Dugong isn't buying it. He calls Yu a crazy bastard, and it's clear he's suspicious. Suddenly, a system message pops up. Junjiokyu is using Lee detection? Oh, this is getting good. Pil Dugong is all smiles, but Yu's inner thoughts reveal he's about to unleash a world of pain. Yu praises Hyun-song, but it's totally a front, because he's sizing her up for something sinister. Pil Dugong congratulates Hyun-song, but Yu is seething. This dude is about to regret that. Yu's eye Gilabus, and he's fully activated Eye of the Sage. Pil Dugong has no idea what's coming. Yu's calculating everything, and he's about to make a move. This is a showdown we've been waiting for. Yu needs Pil Dugong alive for some future scenario, and straight up tells him, it's a power move? Someone nearby knows Yu's plan, confirming he needs Pil Du for something down the line. Creepy. Pil Dugong is letting people run rampant, and this other guy is calling him out on it. Talk about a tense standoff. Pil Dugong brushes it off with an how annoying. This dude is seriously unbothered, even when confronted. He's turning away, but someone asks what he's doing, demanding an explanation. This isn't going to end well. Pil Dugong just says he doesn't understand, but the other guy isn't letting it slide. He's pressing for answers. Wait! Someone shouts, saying you can't just ignore this. They know something big is happening. Pil Dugong is so calm, stating it doesn't concern him. But his eyes are telling a different story. Yu's eye is glowing again, and the tension is building. He's about to unleash something massive, no doubt. And that's where we leave it. Pil Dugong is icy, Yu is calculating, and the stage is set for a major clash. Yu is clenching his fist, looking away. He's trying to stay calm, but this is clearly bothering him. Someone challenges Yu, asking if he actually thinks he can pull this off. The audacity! Pil Dugong and a woman with a sword are walking, and someone calls Pil Du a bastard. Things are escalating fast. Pil Du tells them to go, ignoring the outburst, but he's clearly annoyed. This dude is ice cold. They're in a subway station, and it's super eerie. Seriously, the atmosphere is thick enough to cut with a knife. Rain is pouring down outside, mirroring the tension inside. It's a classic Manhwa trope, and we love it. There are backpacks abandoned in the station. What is going on here? It's definitely a setup. Yu gets a message a scenarios last 1 week and Jungyokyu is planning something. He's playing 4D chess. Yu states he can't let Jungyokyu have his way, and he's thinking hard. Our boy is determined to win. Yu is looking at a map, calculating everything, and it's clear he's about to make a huge move. This is it. This woman, straight up, asks Yu if he was scared when talking to Junghook. The nerve of her. Yu deflects, asking if she's apologizing for something, but she pivots to Pil Dugong immediately. He tries to play it cool, laughing it off, but she's not buying it. She knows he's thinking about Pil Du. Yu insists he changed the subject because Pil Dugong is the bigger threat right now, not Jungyokyu. Another person chimes in, explaining Pil Dugong's gang claims ownership of public spaces and demands rent. They're furious, calling Pil Dugong and his crew greedy bastards, and honestly, they're not wrong. The woman is absolutely seeing red, clutching her fist. She's about to go full rage mode. She declares she's going to kick Pil Dugong's ass. Our girl is not messing around, I love it.